I thought that was a very unique pick.
Yo, since when we have an intro, Kai?
I love the intro. I've never seen the intro.
He hasn't seen it yet. I whipped it up today. What's going on, everybody? How we doing? We're back. It's the Picks Podcast, and I didn't think we'd be back this quickly, but lo and behold, there's been approximately 789 changes by the NFL teams throughout the offseason so far. Every signing,
that's such a big number.
There's so many. Oh my gosh, we're not going to be able to get to them all, but we're gonna try. We're gonna try, okay? Because it's a lot of stuff to talk about. Normally, what I would do is I would just I'd make like an Instagram story about it, and then I would just save it, and so that you guys can like look back and be like, oh, well, come August, I can go back and just click through, which is probably easier, but it's easier for Kyle and I to sit down and just talk about it and give our thoughts so far. So
True.
we're back.
Back at it again.
You got some new merch there, Kai, behind you?
No, that's the same old Saquon.
Oh, that's the same one. Where's your
I have a lot of merch.
Where's your hat, boy?
My hat. My
Look at
it's not printed right. I can't be wearing that.
Oh, did they not replace it?
No.
Bro.
I didn't feel like shipping it back to get a new
Fanatics.
one.
Well, tell the Chinese boy or girl to I'm gonna stop. Anyway,
So much Super Bowl merch. If you ever see me around, I'm probably wearing Super Bowl merch. So
literally the last like 6 weeks, my wardrobe has been either Kelly green or midnight green, with not a lot of or black and red
or the gray,
so
because it's all gray stuff for the merch.
Yeah, so yeah, I splurged a little bit, but come on, our team won the Super Bowl, man. I mean, what are we doing here? If your team wins, you get to splurge. All right. Anyway, so what we're gonna be doing is we got some general stuff to go over as per usual.
It's a breaking news, 2 breaking stories.
Oh my gosh,
before the pod.
yeah, and we're gonna. I mean, I think there were two, right? No, there wasn't just one.
Yeah.
We thought there was gonna be just one, but I had a list of the most valuable
unlimited stories.
Well, yeah, unlimited.
Unlimited.
Mr. Unlimited. Oh my. All right, so Kyle, I got some general news for you. There's going to be some rule changes on the table this year. All right, we got 4 of them. Obviously,
spit 'em.
The most notorious one so far, the Green Bay Packers have proposed a 10-yard penalty for basically the tush push. They're trying to ban the tush push, Kyle. They're trying to take it away from us. They're trying to.
How could they do such a thing?
What are we doing? I don't want it. I don't think it's gonna pass because it's so like I think I tried to find what specifically they were trying to ban. Like I asked on Reddit,
I looked on. They don't want the
no,
pushing.
but like what is the wording? And I could not find it for the life of me. So it's like how you don't even have the wording ready and you're gonna try and ban the play. Like it's not. I don't think it's gonna work. I think they're a bunch of.
I just think it's such a worse look to try to ban it after the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah,
that just makes you look like an extra loser.
Way worse. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe it was on the table last year, right?
I think it was, but I think it got vetoed before it could get to the committee.
Damn. Yeah, I don't think that I don't think it's gonna pass. I really don't. The next one is the Lions want to get rid of the auto first down for defensive holding or illegal contact. What do you think of that one? That's not gonna pass either.
That probably is not gonna pass.
There's no way because it's their whole point is like, oh, if it's like 3rd and 25 and like some random guy holds like in the backfield or whatever, or like away from the play essentially, right? It's like, oh, like it's a 5-yard penalty, but you're just gonna get a first down out of it. Like that seems stupid, but then it's like you're gonna have to nitpick.
Don't hold.
Either that, yeah, don't hold, but like you're gonna have to nitpick every single time that you do that, which is which is kind of stupid. The next one is the Lions again want to allow wildcard teams to be seeded higher than division winners.
Yeah, so seeding just based on overall record again.
I mean,
I think this is stupid.
Yeah, I mean I think the whole point of like the divisions in football, like think about any other sport, like divisions don't matter. Like the novelty of football is that divisions matter, and like if you win,
Also,
your division,
I think it's just gonna get vetoed because I think owners like the fact that there's there's hypothetically a 25% chance they get to host the playoff game
Yeah.
because that means more money.
Oh, exactly.
So,
Yeah.
there's absolutely I don't see this passing.
No, I don't
I don't
think
see this getting 28 out of 32 owners.
No, I think it's 24 out of 32, right? That needs to pass. It's
No, it's
2/3.
28.
I think it's 2/3 majority.
Oh, so it's 24.
It's 24, yeah.
Now,
Finally, the Eagles have proposed that both teams are guaranteed a possession in overtime in the regular season. What do you think of that?
cool.
So
I
here's
think they should just do college overtime because I think that'd be more fun.
Oh, in the regular season, but like playoff is
Yeah.
normal. That wouldn't be a terrible idea. I think the only problem with that is that you're gonna see it go a lot longer, especially with like the NFL. Like, I don't know. I could just see like a lot of teams, like, I don't know. I could see the end of those games lasting forever, like unnecessarily long for like no reason. My only problem with this is that it's only a 10-minute overtime, and like, you know, if you're a really good team, you just run the ball the entire time. I mean, I guess it still leaves an opportunity for the one team in the end. I don't hate this rule, especially if they just keep the 10 minutes and, you know, ties a tie. You know, I think it is what it is. I think you'd see a lot more ties, which would be kind of cool. So
yeah.
So those are the rule changes on the table. There's also, and this is big because this was from the this happened in the playoffs actually. Virtual measurement is set to replace the first down chains in 2025. It's called
the
Hawkeye
gang.
system. The Hawkeye system. Now, if you
rip the chain gang.
if you remember, Kyle, the Hawkeye
the
Hawk Tua system. If that sounds familiar, it's because it was approved last preseason, but it wasn't implemented. We could have avoided the whole Josh Allen controversy in the postseason this year.
What, the fact that he didn't get the first down?
You mean the fact that he did? Oh yeah, I forgot you're a non-believer. Yeah, I forgot
I'm a non-believer.
I forgot you're a Chiefs truther.
Yeah, he did not get the first down from our initial angle.
Terrible. ESPN's also reportedly back in negotiations. This is not good news. Back in contract negotiations with the NFL to purchase the NFL Network, NFL Red Zone, and NFL Plus for a whopping $2 billion.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. Not moolah.
Yeah. It's a little bit of money. Bro, does this mean we're not gonna like Scott Hansen anymore because they're gonna lace Red Zone
Scott Hansen's contract, I'm pretty sure, is up.
Bro, if I tell you right now, if there are ads on Red Zone and he doesn't come back,
there already are.
No, there's not. I watched. No,
dude, he doesn't even say commercial free anymore.
Bro, but it was not true. I watched the entire thing.
There's ads for DraftKings at like during the term between the 1 o'clock and the 4 o'clock games.
That's nothing,
and, like, right before the end of the games.
That's nothing.
An ad. It's like, here are the odds. Sponsored by that's an ad.
Bro, if there's no game on, whatever. If there's not, they usually go back to the studio anyway, and they have like shit in the corner.
Yeah, and they talk about the DraftKings ad. That's probably what
I didn't even see that, to be honest.
Or maybe one of the boxes there in the Octo box is just gonna be ads.
No, but if there are ads, like every like normal ads, and Scott Hansen wants to bail, would not blame him in the slightest. Wouldn't blame him at all. I'd be out on that too.
I think he is gonna be out. I think his contract's up soon.
Man, what is the world coming to?
He's a purist.
Like, I already have to deal with watching the March Madness, and like the end of the games take like 15 minutes for like less than a minute of actual game time. Yeah, there's ads. Oh my god, dude! I have literally, if I have to watch that Amazon Grub Hut ad one more time, I might jump off a 5-story building. Like, it's so bad. It's so annoying. Yeah, dude, giving me fucking nightmares, man. There were a few player storylines so far in the last 6 or 7 weeks. I know there was a development in the Xavier Worthy story yesterday, where there was like, what is it, a month ago, they were like, oh, he beat the shit out of his ex. Now apparently he's suing his ex because she made the whole thing up. So I don't know who to believe. We'll see how this plays out. I saw Le'Veon Bell owes his cousin like $25 million for not showing up to court because like apparently he was like raping her. Like, dude,
yeah, not cool.
That guy's like, dude, I don't know what it is with ex Steelers in particular. Like, I don't know what it is, but those guys just they go nuts. I don't get it.
They do go nuts.
That, and apparently Odell might be on the Diddy list. Crazy stories, man. Crazy. But you're not here for that, right? You're not here for the doom and gloom. Those bad people can deal with their bad consequences. I don't know how much the Odell story was real, though, because I did hear there were a couple
Your
of plot holes.
actions have consequences.
If it's true, man,
Sorry.
they need to get out. But I wanted to talk about, before we get into, each individual team here, the best free agents still remaining and, where they might go. Now, I did have to remove 2 people from this list who we'll get to in a little bit.
Crazy.
Well,
who would have thought?
it's Russell Wilson, guys. It's Russell Wilson and Stephon Diggs. They got signed. Mr. Unlimited's going to New York, dude. He's a
Mr.
giant.
Unlimited.
And Stephon Diggs is signing with the Patriots. That's bombshell news. Breaking news.
Boom, 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 boom.
I gotta get a sound effect in here for next year. The little. Now, obviously, the big ticket item's still out there. I don't even know if it's a big. It's a big ticket item because it's probably gonna cost a lot. But I don't know if you necessarily want it. It's Aaron Rodgers, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's loving the attention he's getting.
Oh yeah, he's little attention whore.
Dude,
as the cool.
I think he's eating it up right now, and
he's a slut.
Yeah, literally, he's a media slut.
He's a little slutty. He's a little slutty Rodgers.
You ask me, I think Russ to the Giants pretty much confirms Rodgers to the Steelers. I just don't know when. The Vikings.
Only he could go to the Vikings. I wish.
Nah, I think the Vikings are gonna
complete the Brett Favre prophecy.
The Brett Favre.
Please.
What is the Brett Favre prophecy?
It's because what's it called? Brett Favre went to the Jets and then the Vikings.
Oh, so he's gonna go to the Jets.
Aaron Rodgers Jets.
Yeah.
And then Vikings.
Yeah, I see.
Jordan Love, he's gonna be a Jet soon.
Yeah, I see that. It's just how it naturally is. You fuck off to the Jets
Green Bay Packer
for like a couple of years, and then
you get your replacement drafted in the first round. You get really upset by it.
Mm-hmm.
You eventually go to the Jets. You flame out, and then you go to the Vikings, and you lose in the NFC Championship game.
There it is.
To the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, there you go. So you're saying it's going to be Rodgers and the Vikings losing to the Saints in the championship game this year?
Yes.
I would love it. Here, I'm going to give you some other names that you might not have known were free agents. Did you know Nick Chubb was a free agent?
Yes, I did know Nick
I didn't know that until I was starting to do my research for this show.
He's old.
Yeah, but dude, it's Nick Chubb. That would stink if he...
Yeah, but he, blew up his knee.
Yeah, twice now. And that...
yeah, both his knees.
Hard to come back from, unfortunately. Yeah, he's a free agent. Again, J.K. Dobbins is also a free agent.
That I'm a little surprised. I guess this running back class for the draft is really deep.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming a lot of these veteran running backs that are still out there,
they might stay out there.
Aren't going to get signed until after the draft.
Yeah, or even during the season, maybe, perhaps,
Yeah.
Somebody
I think
goes
most
down.
likely after the draft.
Yeah, you're probably right. I wouldn't doubt that. Wide receivers out there still. You've got Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, and Tyler Lockett. So a couple of big names there. I don't know and I had Stephon Diggs on here, I was so shocked it took this long for him to get signed, but Patriots are like, you know what, we're gonna continue
Coming
to
off
be
a major injury, tore
big
his ACL.
spend. Yeah, it's tough, but I think the talent is obviously there. Keenan Allen too. He'll get signed. He's a veteran, and I think he's gonna be in the league until he literally can't play anymore. I don't know about Amari Cooper though. It's crazy, right? He went to the Bills, and it's oh, you thought he was actually gonna be a star there, and it really didn't. It just really didn't pan out at all. And then with Lockett too, I don't know. A lot of these guys are vets.
Lockett, I could see easily going to the Raiders.
Yeah, I think these guys will get picked up eventually. What are your opinions on my idea for this trade? Trey Hendrickson from Cincy to Philly for Reed Blankenship, Dallas Goedert, and a third or fifth.
No.
Well, there was a report today that said the Bengals are actually working to extend Trey Hendrickson. So I heard that he did request a trade earlier this offseason, but I heard that's now off the table. I think the Eagles will be fine.
To sit out.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, but if he wasn't extended, but I think they're going to try and get it done. So I don't know what kind of cap space they have. so they might just end up kicking the can down the road. But I think
It's basically what they actually got free cap with the recent deals to Jamar Chase
Yeah.
and T. Higgins.
I think
They kind of structured
they're
it
just
where
gonna
the money
they're gonna be
goes
so
down the road.
they're gonna be so fucked in 5 years. They're gonna be the window is now, Cincinnati. The window
Yep.
is now. No, but I think the Eagles are. I think they're perfectly because you got to think about it, right? They have so much money invested in their offense, and they're gonna have to pay Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith within the next year or two. So especially if especially if Carter just like completely goes off this season, they'll have
I
no
will
choice.
say I did do a Madden franchise mode for shits and giggles to see what would happen if the Eagles got Myles Garrett. And I did have to trade 3 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a third.
Jesus
him.
Christ.
But he did finish the
Jesus.
season with 37 sacks.
What do you do? This is college. This what? 37.
37.
That's gross.
And Jalen Carter finished with, I think, 14. It was nuts.
This year?
I mean, Madden's a garbage. No, in the simulation.
Oh, I was gonna say, bro, what?
The Eagles tried going. They had a 3-peat going, but they lost in the 3rd Super Bowl. Bills, which was the only team they lost to all year. They lost to the Bills in the regular season, and then in the Super Bowl. It was very sad.
Damn. Well, not in real life. We didn't have to worry about it.
Not in real life.
Some other names out there: Jedrick Willis, offensive tackle. Couple corners. Rasul Douglas is out there. Asante Samuel Jr. Oh, where do you think Asante Samuel Jr. will go? There you go. Perfect.
I'm not really sure.
I don't know whoever needs a corner, he's gonna cost a little bit. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten signed, like, because he was pretty decent.
Low-key, I am also surprised
Los Angeles.
Gotten signed.
I think he would be a great fit for the Eagles, and so would Rasul, because I think Rasul, that would be great if they like reunited. Well, I actually thought.
I don't think they really need. Maybe.
Yeah, they do. No Bradbury, no Slay. Yeah, they need a vet in there.
Bradbury didn't even play last year.
Yeah, but he was.
I mean,
he was gonna.
I think they have good depth at corner. They might draft someone, but I don't think they need a corner.
Asante, I could also see going to. I know the Lions need corners.
I could see him going to the Lions.
I could see the Commanders. I could see like maybe Dallas. This guy thinks. Oh, there you go, Dallas or Arizona.
Maybe.
Yeah, Arizona maybe too, because Arizona's secondary is really bad. I mean, the Cowboys secondary was really bad for the first half of the year too last year, but. So there's still a couple big names cornerback wise.
Maybe in the Bengals, because Bengals lost Mike Hilton.
Yeah, that is true.
Agency. He's still a free agent, but
Justin Simmons is out there still. He's not corner, but he's a safety.
I wouldn't be surprised if Justin Simmons goes to the Eagles.
Dude, there's no way they can afford
I think
it.
they just might be waiting till after.
They're gonna wait till after the draft to sign people. I know. Well, all right.
Then it doesn't affect the comp pick formula.
Yeah, let's get into some of the team discussion here. I guess we'll just get the Eagles out of the way because I know that we could literally talk about them for 30 minutes, but we can't do that today, obviously. Yeah. So I'm gonna give a grade for each team, and I think it's just really early. It's kind of too early to give a concrete grade, for every single team. I'll give you what I think so far, but a lot of this is going to be based off the draft, number one, most importantly, and then B, what they do after the draft, because there's still a ton of time left. But big moves by the Eagles, right? They extended Saquon. They made him the highest paid running back in the history of the NFL. Bro, we got DTR.
Yeah.
We got value for
QB3,
Kenny Pickett.
baby. Kenny Pickett. Bye-bye.
Yeah, like.
Tanner McKee season. Tanner McKee.
QB2
season.
Yeah, dude. I'm absolutely on him.
I love
they got some head scratchers though, like the
Goated.
CJ trade, CJ Gardner-Johnson to the Texans. They got more depth at the line with Kenyon Green, but bro, and they also, Slay's gone too, so it's like those are two huge parts of their defense. Like you have the savvy vet and then the guy that just makes you want to run through a wall, So I don't know. They did sign a Dory Jackson. They got some help at cornerback there. Kenny Gainwell's gone. Miss Kenny G, dude.
Kenny G.
Oh man.
I'll never forget your divisional 2022
Yeah.
game against the Giants.
Yeah.
Where you scored a touchdown as we were leaving the stadium.
Oh my god, I'll never forget. We saw it. We saw it right on the
Yeah, we saw it right as
right in
we
the
were
corner.
leaving
Yeah.
the stadium.
They did sign AJ Dillon. But I mean, also they took care of the most important piece, right, which was signing Zach Bond. 3 years, 54 million, I want to say. Absolutely the best move. Absolutely the best move they made.
If you recall, I did say at the end of our final pod after the Super Bowl that was all I needed to hear for the Eagles free agency.
Yeah.
To still be confident.
Yeah, I mean, and they had a tough decision, right? Because they were going to have to either, they had to bite the bullet on Milton Williams and Josh Sweat. There was just no way they were going to be able to afford both of them after.
No, it was too much money.
After the Super Bowl performances they put up. Yeah, I mean, dude, 20, 25, and 20, I think they got each, and they got 4-year deals.
Yep.
It's just the thing that with the Eagles is, right, they have a lot of young talent on defense. It's just they have so much money invested in the offense. Like, they paid Devontae Smith, they're paying A.J. Brown. Now they're paying Saquon Barkley even more. They're paying Jalen Hurts. They're paying that offensive line. So it's like you have a lot of guys that you just have a lot of money tied up in their offense, which is fine, right? Like if you keep drafting well on the defensive side of the ball, the problem kind of solves itself in the interim, right? You're going to have to pay a couple of them, but as long as you keep drafting well, you can get away with, getting guys on their rookie deal for 4 or 5 years. It's just teams don't really draft. Like, look at the Eagles drafts since 2020. I think that realistically, the only pick they really missed on was Jalen Reagor. I mean, I know it was a big miss, but like,
since that draft, you could argue their picks in the first 3 rounds have all been hits.
It's crazy. It's crazy, right? Like, so I think they'll be fine. They got some nice depth pieces. They got Azeez Ojulari, another Georgia Bulldog.
I think that's a high quality.
I think that is
right
too.
There, man.
I do too.
6 sacks.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting him for cheap. One of those 1-year. I think the thing with the Eagles right now, I think these 1-year prove it deals, they're really appealing to free agents because, like, you might as well do it on the Eagles because, like, Eagles are gonna be good, so you can be good.
Yeah, like they got.
Apparently the Giants. The rumor is the Giants could have traded him for a 4th or a 5th for the trade deadline, and they didn't do it because Joe Shane, very stupid.
Yeah, he stoops.
Dumb. Give us your free agents, Joe
That's
Shane.
actually not the only Giant they got. Did you see we're getting Patrick Johnson back? So he was drafted by the Eagles back in.
Got Patrick Johnson.
What was that? 2017, 2018.
Adoree Jackson.
Yeah,
he was a former Giant.
He
was the last Giant to get a pick 6 on the Eagles.
Oh wow, interesting.
Maybe not pick 6, but he was the last one. He had like the longest pick 6.
They
Eagles. I was at that game.
They extended Lane Johnson through 2027 as well. Brandon Graham retired. I love you, BG. Yeah, so like I think it's kind of early for the Eagles. I mean, Howie Roseman did say on the record, right, this is going to look like a pretty weird offseason, but if I had to give a grade right now, I'd probably give him like a B minus, something like that. I mean, it's probably going to get better after the draft, right? Like they have holes to fill currently, so it's like C plus B minus B area right now. But
they have like 20 draft picks between 22 draft picks between this year and next year.
They have a lot more next year.
Comp picks.
In 26.
Because next year they're supposed to get a 3rd, a 4th, a 5th, and a 6th comp.
Yeah, they're gonna get a lot next year. They're gonna get a lot next year because they had so many.
I know they're gonna have 5 or 6 picks in the first 100 picks.
So,
sanity.
I think the Eagles will be fine. Speaking of big spenders, let's move on to the Commanders. They started off with a bang by re-signing Zane Gonzalez, and then they traded for Debo. Then they guaranteed him $20 million this year, so they have another weapon. That just scares the fuck out of me. Is Jaden Daniels having the ability to throw it or hand it off to Debo? I don't know why that scares me, but the guy's kind of a, I don't want to say a locker room cancer, but there's been some some recent troubles with those 49ers in round, but I mean, there's no denying
we forgot
talented.
about quads, bro. How much quads the Eagles have with AJ Dillon?
What? I said AJ Dillon.
Oh, I missed it.
I mentioned him.
Oops.
We're gonna have a difficult time getting to I have basically on my notes right now in front of me. I have basically every noteworthy acquisition. But we'll literally be here for 3 hours. So I'm trying to skim through it and just hit on the most important ones. For the Commanders, we got Javon Kinlaw, 3-year, $45 million. They traded for Laremy Tunsil, so they get more help on the line.
Yes.
They bring back Marcus Mariota. More help on the line. They got Nate Herbig, former Eagle, if you remember.
Yes, I do.
They got Jonathan Jones from the Patriots. They re-signed Clelin Ferrell. And they somehow dragged Michael Gallup out of retirement. I don't know how they did that. But you know what? I really don't think they're done yet. I think they might even make some more trades, or because they have a lot of cap space, right? And really now is your time to do it too. Once while you have,
You got the great quarterback on a rookie
oh my
deal.
God, yeah, like you don't have to pay him dick for the next 3 years. So I mean, you might get an extension coming soon if he plays well next year, but this is your window now, right? Get these guys on 2-3 year deals, pay them out, get them off the books, and by the time you're ready to sign Jaden to that long-term deal, you'll be able to afford to do so. So I think the Commanders have played this perfectly so far. I have them as an A-. I mean, I think it could get even A or A+ territory in my opinion.
Yep.
Um,
As Aaron said, the window is officially open.
oh yeah,
as his
100%. He's 100%
Commander
right.
thing, and then he got 2 big gaps, left tackle and wide receiver 2, both been filled by Pro Bowl winning dogs.
Mhm.
And that Debo is only fat because he's injured, and he'll be back to his normal self after offseason of non-injury training. And that same sentiment goes towards Marcus Lattimore.
He only liked me for my shorts. Anyway, let's move on to the G-Men, who made some headlines today. Obviously, the big ticket item today. Breaking news. The Giants and quarterback Russell Wilson have agreed to a 1-year, $21 million deal, including $10.5 million guaranteed at signing. So Russell Wilson is headed to the Big Apple. Well, actually, he's technically headed to New Jersey. New Jersey Giants.
They should have stayed with Jameis.
Yeah, so bro,
They disrespected Jameis.
so they actually they re-signed DeVito, right? And then they signed, I feel like they panic signed Jameis, right? Because he's not going to compete with Russ. So you're basically just paying.
Jameis is better than Russ.
Dude,
I'm a Jameis truth.
I don't understand
what
their angle is here.
Let Jameis
So they got Jameis on a 2-year, $8 million contract. Could be worth up to $16 million in incentives. Probably not going to be hitting that unless Russ goes down. And now they have Russell Wilson. So like you have your quarterback room, but the team around them is bad. And here's the reason why I didn't want, like, if you're a Giants fan, here's the reason I wouldn't have wanted you to sign a guy like Russell Wilson, because it's like, all right, it's $21 million. It's not terrible, right, compared to what the market is currently for like a franchise guy. Obviously, you weren't going to get a franchise guy in free agency, but to me, that money could have been well better spent elsewhere, right? Because they signed, like, listen to the guys they signed. Roy Robert Harris. Do you know who that is? I don't blame you if you don't. No. He's a fine guy. He came from the Seahawks, but he's not he's a whatever. Chauncey Golston from Cowboys, obviously, but he's actually pretty good. He's a pretty good run stopper. Chris Board, another plug and fill guy from the Ravens. Javon Holland. That was a pretty big signing for them, safety.
Yeah, from the Dolphins.
From the Dolphins, yeah. They got Greg Van Roten back on the line. But then like the weapons room, it's like they signed 2 wide receivers, Zach Pascal and Lil Jordan Humphrey. It's like, it's just kind of underwhelming, Like, I think Holland's pretty nice signing, and I think Golston's going to be a really good addition to their run stopping ability. But I don't know, man. I just feel like they could have done more. Like, like I feel like the time, and they have the 4th overall pick in the draft too. I think you trade that back. You find a team that needs a quarterback, trade that back, get more capital for next year, and you build your offense through the draft, and then you do your you make your bread and butter on your defense through free agency. So I don't think it's bad. I think the Giants have B so far. I don't think it's bad per se.
You think they take a quarterback at number 3?
No, no, they don't. There's no way.
Shador Sanders is off the table.
Yeah,
in your opinion?
dude. If they do that, then like, what the fuck did you sign Russ for? Then I would have to bump them down to a C.
Because they're desperate.
That's so stupid though. Oh, we're gonna have Russ.
Who would you take though at 3?
I would trade the pick. I told you, or Abdul Carter.
If you have Abdul Carter's available.
If I had the first pick, I'm taking Abdul Carter. If I don't need a quarterback, that is. But if I'm the Titans, like, here's the thing with it. I mean, we'll get into the Titans a little later. So
what if they're like, wait, why not? We don't have Saquon because we have Ashton Jeanty.
Ashton Jeanty. Well, speaking of a team that needed a running back, Let's move on to the Cowboys here because they signed a couple. They got Javonte
Miles
Williams
Sanders.
and Miles Sanders. Both on 1-year deals, $3 million and 2.5 or something. I don't know what Miles Sanders got, but I don't know. I feel like the Cowboys should have drafted a running back, and they still might. You know,
Well, they still can. The
they
draft
still
hasn't
can.
happened yet, but
Rico Dowdle is
it's
gone.
just-
He's on the. I think he's on the Panthers, right?
yeah,
I'll have it
he
written down
went to the
later. Yeah,
Panthers.
I'll have it written down later. I don't have where which team lost who. I just kind of have to know that off the top of my head.
Rico Dowdle is on the Panthers.
All right, so
That's nice. I like that move.
I
I
signed
like
that.
the Panthers.
The Cowboys did make some pretty good moves. They signed Dante Fowler, former, I think he was like the 4th overall pick or something. He had 10.5 sacks last year for the Commanders, so he had a nice year last year. They got Solomon Thomas from the Jets. They re-signed Kevontae Turpin, who, I mean, dude's insane, right? Oh, they got scumbag Peyton Turner, who spit. Remember, he was the guy who spit on fucking. Oh god, I forget who he spit on against the Eagles last year.
He spit on Devontae.
He spit on Devontae. Yeah, I was like, oh, dude, perfect Cowboy right there. Perfect.
That's a perfect Cowboy right there for sure.
They got Kenneth Murray from the Titans, who was like pretty mid last year. They got Kyer Elam from the Bills, who was like awful last year. So like they made a bunch of like
they got guys.
They got guys.
They're all in, bud. All in.
Dude, it's not what they needed though. It's like I'm giving them a C- to be honest. Like I don't like what I don't get it, dude. I don't get it.
Always are F.
They didn't address. I mean, they did free up a lot of cap space by restructuring the Dak contract, but it's like you're just kicking the can down the road, and you're not.
They're the only team to not make the NFC Championship while I've been on this earth.
I love that.
Almost the only like the only one that I've never like actually watched in the NFC Championship, except for the Bears.
The Bears were there. The Bears were in the Super Bowl.
Late. No, but I'm saying like I watch because like I don't really care about football.
Yeah, but you can watch them watch them in 720p. You can't watch the Cowboys in a conference championship.
Yes, that is true.
You can't watch the Cowboys in 720p unless they retroactively upscaled it.
Enhance.
Tough scene. So yeah, I don't know. C-, like they just didn't really do anything, and they just kind of moved all their problems down the road, which is like I don't know. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, it could probably get better after the like. I'm gonna say this a lot tonight. Like a lot of these grades could get better or worse after the draft. So
I think we should just say who it is. Who is winning that division right now, just based on free agency? Eagles, obviously. Next question.
Okay, we'll leave
Next division.
All right, let's go to the North. I get the Lions. Lions didn't make too many moves. They brought Dan Skipper back. They got a backup for Goff. They got Kyle Allen. They did bring back Tim Patrick, which I thought was a very good move.
He turned it on.
Dude, he did. He was a baller. Their big acquisition was signing DJ Reed, former Jets cornerback.
DJ Reed from the Jets.
Yep, 3-year, $48 million.
I think he's honestly a better than Carlton Davis.
Yeah.
He's less injury prone. I think he's more of a cover corner, which I think fits better.
Yeah.
Detroit's kind of defense.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad move. I mean, they didn't really have a lot to work with, but they did address, the one position of need, which was secondary. So I'll give them a B for now. And again, it's going to depend on the draft and what they do after. So it'll probably be better. Grade the Browns signing Teen Jenkins and Jerome. Oh yeah, they did sign Jerome Baker. I'm gonna get to the Browns in a little bit. I'm just gonna finish up with the North, with the NFC. But I think the AFC East is our first, or AFC North is our first division.
We're doing NFC North. What are you?
No. I'm saying
after
we do the NFC, brother.
Oh, okay.
After we have an order, we need order. Packers. Let's talk about the Packers.
What do you mean? They didn't do anything in free agency. They don't do anything.
They made a couple moves. They got Aaron Banks from the Niners.
True.
Guard. Dude, if you were a lineman and you were signed on the first or second day of free agency, holy shit. you
got
made out
of
like
dollars.
A bandit, bro. Like some of the names.
Dude,
and some of the
O-lineman, it's just like it's so hard to do.
Aaron Banks, like fine guard. Fine guard. Don't get me wrong. 4 years, $77 million. Okay. Okay. They got Nate Hobbs from the Raiders, cornerback, 4 years, 48 million,
Yeah,
16
because they're probably
guaranteed.
moving off of Xavier
Yeah.
Alexander.
They locked
Drama.
up Brandon McManus, and they signed Miko Hardman too. I don't know. I
Miko, my
mean,
dream boy.
I'm probably being harsh here.
One of my two dream boys.
Oh, Miko Hardman.
Nicole Hardman and Cooper the Dream.
Too bad you didn't you win bank on Miko? I mean, you get a nice.
I did win bank on Miko, my Miko Dream. My Miko Dream won me like $300 back
Oh,
when I was
really?
like 4 in college.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a lot.
That was the
I
first
thought it was like a
dream
hunch.
thing.
I thought it was like a hunch.
No, it was when he played. It was when they played the Ravens. It had to be the COVID year, so it was 2020 when they played the Ravens in the I think week 4, week 5.
I remember
back when FanDuel like actually had good like no risk same game parlays. I put $20 down on a no risk parlay with one leg being Miko Hardman anytime touchdown.
I love
He
it.
did it.
I love it.
It was like plus 700 added onto the parlay. So it was $20 to win like 350, and it was awesome.
I love that. I'm probably
It
being
was the
harsh.
dream. That was the first dream.
I'm probably being harsh in my grade here. I'm gonna give him a C just because it's a lot of money for like an okay guard, and it's also a lot of money for like an okay corner. I mean, Nate Hobbs isn't bad, like, and the deal's actually not that bad now that I'm looking at it, but
No, it's
I don't know. They need
going to be a lot of
like
money.
it's probably gonna get better after the draft. It's probably gonna be better after the draft if they draft well. They need some defensive linemen, and they need a little bit more secondary help. So I'll stick with the C for now. It's a tentative C. Don't freak out, Green Bay. Let's go to the Bears.
They normally don't do anything for agency anyway.
They really don't. Like historically, they really don't. So I mean, they actually spent a little bit of money this offseason, so everyone's taking advantage of that extra.
The teams actually had great two arguably of the best off seasons.
Oh, so you're high on the Bears because that's where I was going to go next.
I'm high on the Bears and the Vikings. I
so
think
they got
little off seasons.
Yeah, they really sold out for offensive linemen, which hey, that's what they needed. Jonah Jackson, they
Especially
traded for
guards.
him.
Their interior
oh my
offensive
god,
line
it was
terrible
so
last year.
Bad, dude. It was
every time I would watch the Bears, they would just get like destroyed in the interior.
Oh, every time I turned the Bears on, Caleb Williams would be being sacked. I'm like, this guy's gonna die.
Mainly from interior pressure, not even from like the tackle.
He would get the ball and then yeah, like literally,
their
like
guards were terrible.
He wasn't flushed out. He was pushed back. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it was bad. Oh my god.
So they traded for Jonah Jackson from the Rams. Bears are taking on a lot of money here, and this is kind of a win-win. It's kind of a salary dump for the Rams. I don't think the Rams are paying him anything, and the Bears are going to pay him $17.5 million this year. They acquired Joe Tooney in exchange for a 4th-round pick. Chiefs freed up a lot of money with that one. Drew Dahlman, yeah, bro. Do you know who Drew Dahlman is? Don't blame me if you don't.
Drew Dahlman's center.
Fine center, average center. Dude, 3 years, 42 million, 28 guaranteed. Okay, like second highest paid center now in the NFL. Drew Dahlman. Okay. Grady Jarrett.
So now I think if you're the Bears, what are you at? You're a 10. I think Genty could be on the table.
Oh, where you drafting?
Now the fact that they did all this stuff with O-line,
yeah,
they can pick best player available, which I think is huge.
I 100% agree with that. I think that's a very good take. I think that's
now they don't have to like reach on an O-line. No. They could just draft best player available.
You could trade up or back too, depending on what you see and what you like too. You know, so
I think if they got like a Tyler Warren, or I think that would be awesome. I think if they got him,
yeah,
or if they got Ashton Genty. Or basically just best player available.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
They got Grady Jarrett too. And then they made a couple of special teams wide receivers moves. They got Olamide Zaccheaus and Devin Duvernay. Devin Duvernay, bro, giving me Devin Hester vibes with the Bears. Yeah, I have the Bears at a B+ right now, and I think it could get better.
I think it's an A, Matt.
Yeah.
I disagree.
I don't blame
you.
I don't blame you.
The fact that they
I don't blame
aggressively went O-line.
Yeah, I think they did a very good job.
Cheap.
Very
they
fine.
They can do whatever they want. I think that's an A.
Very fine.
Off-season champs.
Look, the guys they got don't blow me away.
The
guys they got don't blow me away, but they did what they needed to do, and I respect that. So I'll give them a B+. You know, higher side.
I give them an A.
Prediction on landing spots for Amari Cooper, Nick C. Who's Nick C? Am I being stupid right now?
You
Nick
like a
Chubb.
dummy.
Nick Chubb.
Or Nick Chubb.
Rasul Douglas and Avon M. Avonte Maddox. Is he a free agent? I thought he signed.
No, Vontae Maddox got signed.
signed somewhere, I
I
thought.
remember hearing this. I think he got signed to the Lions.
I don't know
if
where
remember
Cooper's
right.
gonna go, dude. I don't know. I mean, we talked about it a little
I could see
earlier.
Cooper not
Chubb,
really even being signed.
Chubb, I
anywhere.
could see like
Yeah, the Lions. Avonte Maddox went to the
Lions.
Lions.
Okay. Oh, did I not even have that written down?
No, that was relatively recent.
Yeah. And then Rasul, dude. Whoever needs a corner, man. There's a lot of good corners. Oh, Von Miller.
I think a lot of these might Von Miller.
Yeah, Von Miller.
I could see him going back to Denver. To
Yeah.
be honest. I know he wants to go.
One
back
year
to
deal.
Denver.
1 year deal, and probably done.
1 year, 2 year deal.
Yeah,
I
or the
think he's
Cowboys
washed
maybe.
a little bit.
Cowboys
or like
maybe.
a situational pass. Yeah, I could see him going to
The
Dallas.
Cowboys need a run stopper now or a pass rusher now. So,
I could see him going to Philly. To be honest, too.
if
Wouldn't
the deal's
surprise me
right.
If you get him for
If the
cheap.
deal's right. All right.
The money's right.
Vikings, another busy team. They obviously moved on from Sam Darnold. Did you get a chance to go back and see from our last show what we said? I think I nailed it. I said 3 to 4 years, and I think I said 120, and like he got 3 and 110 from the Seahawks. So
Yeah,
I pretty
that
much
makes sense.
I pretty much nailed it. Like I was very happy with that. But now it's the JJ McCarthy era, probably. So we'll see.
Rodgers, please fulfill the prophecy, Rodgers.
Yeah, I think
It must be done.
I think Aaron Rodgers and or
Must be
JJ
done.
McCarthy are going to decide what the grade is here. But the Vikings did get some help in the secondary. They got Isaiah Rodgers and Jeff Okudah. They also got Rock
Very
Ya-Sin
solid deals.
from the Colts. They brought back Eric Wilson, who started 12 games for the Packers last year, but he's drafted by Minnesota. They brought in Byron Murphy too, which was a huge get for them. 3 years, $66 million.
Brought him back.
Yeah, re-signed, I should say.
Resigns.
Jonathan Allen, 3 years, $60 million. Javon Hargrave,
Huge.
2 years. Dude, Javon Hargrave is a great signing. 2 years, $30 million,
Yeah,
19 guaranteed.
I thought the Eagles might have
Solid.
been able to get him for cheap.
Dude, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking that too.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna come back to Philly, but
Harrison Smith's coming back too to the Vikings. They got
Aaron
Rondell Moore,
Jones.
and they traded for Jordan Mason. And they immediately signed him to
I
a
saw
2 year, $7 million contract. I believe it was a 2026 sixth and a pick swap this year or something like that. So like they almost got him for
something like that,
nothing.
Not much.
Yeah, they didn't have to pay really much for him. So, man, Vikings again. I think it could. They
And
got a lot of
O-line, too.
signings.
You mentioned O-line that they got.
Ryan Kelly. Yeah, Ryan Kelly from the Colts as well.
They got Will Fries from the Colts.
Yeah, I saw that too. I don't think I have that one written down, but
5
dude,
years, 80,
solid
88
moves.
mil.
I think it's slightly better than the Bears. I gave them an A minus.
I think I'd say they're A minus. I think they're both. I think they're both A's.
It's
Bears
fine.
and
That's fine.
Vikings. Very solid free agency. Obviously, Vikings is more like we have to see how
Yeah.
JJ McCarthy does.
Do you think Gerald Everett will get signed? Yeah, probably. I mean, a lot of teams bring like 4 or 5 tight ends to training camp. So, and he's one of the
How old is he now? Did he even do anything last year?
Gerald Everett. That's a good question.
He was on the Bears. I know that, but like, did he even do anything? What was his stat line? I think he might be cooked.
Gerald Everett, Chargers in 22.
He had 8 catches for 36 yards.
Oh,
Man's
maybe
cooked.
not. Maybe not.
Cooked. Bye bye.
Yeah, he's 30 now too. Man, he was
30,
good.
and he only had 30. He was good for a while.
He was a
only
good
had
Ram,
36
and
yards last year.
honestly, I thought
Wow,
he was a good
thumbs up.
Seahawk too. All right, let's move on to the NFC South here. Start with the Falcons, who got rid of Grady Jarrett, aforementionedly signed by the Bears. They made some moves though. They have Divine Diablo from the Raiders, linebackers.
The Raiders, yes.
Dude, 2 years,
Got Leonard
14. I'll tell
Floyd.
you what, right now, I know the Raiders defense was kind of mid last year, and it has been for the last few years. Divine Diablo, 2 thumbs up from me. 2 years, 14 million. Guy's a very great tackler. They got Leonard Floyd. He was a Niner last year, 1 year deal. They brought in Jamal Agnew. They re-signed a couple of their own guys, Kadarrell Hodge and Mike Hughes. Now the big question, obviously, for the Falcons is Kirk has that no trade clause,
Kirk Cousins.
right? He has that no trade clause, and he says he wants to wait till after the draft to be traded. I've heard that he's a very respectful guy, like from the Washington organization. and the Atlanta organization and like the Minnesota, like, you know, wherever he's gone, he's been a really nice guy. That's kind of dickish though. Is that not like
No,
what
I
if
would do the same thing, bro.
if you were Kirk? Yeah, but I'm like, you're kind of.
Kirk is a generational bag getter.
He
And
is. He
he's
is.
made more money in his career than Tom
Yeah.
Brady.
And he's not even done
He's
yet.
a stud at getting the bag. I can't wait to watch the Netflix quarterback to know the drama behind the scenes.
Yeah, I do. I want to know what's going on. I want to know. I want to be a fly on the wall.
Real bad.
I want to be a
I
fly
think
on the
he's
wall
gonna
there.
go. Honestly, I think I could see him going. He's gonna probably. It's probably be after the draft, and I could see him going to.
Well, that's
like,
what he
the
said.
Browns, maybe, or not the Giants at this point.
Well, I heard the Browns. We'll get to the Browns in a little bit. I heard they want to bring in a vet to compete with Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett.
Dude, Kenny Pickett, Browns. I love it.
Kenny Pickett.
I love it. But yeah, I don't know. I give the Falcons a B minus maybe. I mean, what to do with Kirk.
C, bro. This Kirk Cousins thing.
Yeah, it might loom. It might loom. Yeah, I think the
maybe if they didn't sign Kirk to all this money, they have more money to spend.
Well, that's not this offseason. That's last offseason. No.
The last offseason is affecting this one.
Yeah. All right. What about the Saints? I gotta talk about the Saints here too. Now the Saints were in cap hell, dude. The Saints were in cap hell, and
Saints are always in cap hell. Cap's not real,
dude. How the hell they were like 80 million over, and then they signed Chase Young to a 3-year. They re-signed Chase Young to a 3-year, $51 million contract. They signed. Dude, did you see the contract Jawan Johnson got?
Justin Reed signed
2 years, 30.75 million, 21.25 guaranteed for Jawan Johnson.
3 years.
Oh, 3 years? Oh, that's not as bad then. They signed Dante Pettis. Another big ticket item. They got the chief safety Justin Reed, 3 years, $31.5 million, 22.25 guaranteed. And they brought back Brandon Cooks again. So, you know,
Brandon Cooks is back.
The Saints made a lot of move. Again, this is probably being conservative. I'm gonna give them a B again, just because they got a lot of picks in the draft. But I don't know. They got a lot of, you know, they got a lot of shit to deal with. I don't know. Is it just kicking the can down the road? Huh?
They always do that. Kellen Moore, what's he gonna be able to do with the Saints roster?
People like Kellen Moore. I feel like people trust Kellen Moore.
I don't like Kellen Moore.
I don't know.
Eagles weren't even a top 10 statistical offense, and they had all that skill.
Would you buy?
Granted, he did have an incredible playoff run.
Yeah, I don't know how much of it was him. I mean, he got the offense to work. Would you buy a car from him?
Derek Carr?
No. Would you buy a car from Kellen Moore?
I'll buy a Derek Carr.
You buy a Derek.
Kellen Moore.
I'd buy a person from.
I'll buy a Derek Carr.
Let's move on.
Saints are still worst team in that division. As I said last year.
Shut up.
I will be sticking with it. Saints are booty cheeks.
Shut up.
I always knew it, Matt.
I didn't pay Kyle anything. Actually, yeah, I did because I'm a man of my word.
I am the prophet of the Saints, and the Saints are booty cheeks.
Anyway,
I'm pissed they signed Chase Young. I wanted the Eagles to get Chase
Double
Young.
or nothing this year?
What?
Double or nothing? Saints versus the field.
I already got the money from you. I'm not doing
double or nothing.
I don't want to pay you.
Double or nothing this year.
What? Do you think the Saints are going to be first in that division?
No, I'm saying. No, well, what was the bet?
The Saints are last.
They won't be last.
I don't want to do that before. I don't want to do that before the draft.
They won't be last. Is what we bet. So
no, but like I could see
you would take
last.
I would take the field to be last. You would take the Saints. So I'd have to give you better odds.
Yeah, I don't feel as comfortable in that this year than I did last year.
All right. Well, you let me know. Let's go on to the Bucks here. Bucks made. The biggest move the Bucks made obviously was, you know,
Chris Godwin.
Yeah, Chris Godwin. 3 years, $66 million, 44 guaranteed.
And Levante
coming
David.
off an ACL, and he got that too. So it's like, you know, they have a lot of faith.
And he would have got more. The rumor is that he was offered more money than that.
Are you kidding me?
He said no because.
Oh, really?
Stay with Tampa.
What a great guy.
I mean, like, apparently New England was offering like 30.
I just thought he lost out on $30 million because he tore his ACL, which made complete sense.
No, he was offered 30 mil, but he declined because he wanted to stay in Tampa.
That's wild. That's wild that somebody would pay him that much.
Granted, that's rumors. Injury. Rumors.
Yeah, I don't know.
Rumor mill.
Let's see. They got some help on the line. No, they re-signed on the line. Ben Bredeson, 3 years, $22 million. They brought back Levante David. They brought back Bryce Hall. So they brought back a lot of their own guys. They brought back Kyle Trask. They brought in Hassan Reddick. 1 year, $14 million, $12 million guaranteed. They brought in Riley Dixon to punt. And they got Sterling Shepard as some more wide receiver depth. So, I mean, dude, I love Chris Godwin as a person, as a player. I love him. It's just kind of tough with the whole ACL thing. I mean, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, right? I think he's gonna be in a good position.
I think he'll be fine.
I think he'll be fine. I'll give him a B. Again, could get better. We'll see.
I'll give him.
I'm
B.
optimistic.
I'll give him B.
Now let's go to the Panthers.
To my Bryce Young.
Yeah, your Bryce Young
my
Panthers.
Boy.
Obviously,
my Bryce Young, my
the biggest
boy.
move was re-signing or extending, I should say, cornerback J.C. Horn, 4 years, $100 million. Damn. $70 million guaranteed. He is now the highest paid defensive back in the history of the NFL. J.C. Horn, ladies and gentlemen. 8th overall pick from 2020.
Well, no, not anymore. He's second highest.
Who?
Derek Stingley out.
Oh, yeah. You're right. I don't have these things written down, Kyle. That's why you're here.
That's why I'm here.
That's why
I'm
there's
here,
two
I'm
of
here
us.
to bring up the
That's why there's
breaking
two of
news.
us, guys. That's why there's two of us.
True.
So they moved on from Miles Sanders. They released him. They signed Rico Dowdle from the Cowboys. Fine signing. I mean, Miles wasn't really doing anything for you anyway. They brought in Patrick Jones from the Vikings, 2 years, $20 million. So they got some help on the defensive line, which they desperately need. That is absolutely what they did. Tershawn Wharton from the Chiefs they brought in. Dude, Tershawn Wharton, 3 years, $54 million? What the fuck? For a rotational
they
guy?
were gonna get Milton Williams, but then
oh yeah,
Milton
I
Williams
saw that, bro.
abandoned them
I
for
saw
more
that.
money.
Dude, I heard that was like done. Like the day of,
That's what I thought. I thought I was like, my boy's going to my boy Bryce Young.
Yeah, that's crazy. They got Trayvon Moehrig from the
nuts.
Raiders. 3 years, $51 million. Adam Thielen's coming back too, so that's nice. So yeah, I think they made some good moves. I think Milton Williams would have definitely made it closer to an A. It's probably in that B plus area because they did do a lot to reinforce their line, which is again, that's probably the position they're going to draft mostly. So again, I'll say this with a grain of salt. I'll give it a B for now, but it'll probably be better after the draft once they draft, positions.
You know who's lost Super Bowls? Patrick Mahomes. You know who's never lost a Super Bowl? Bryce Young. Just saying, just leaving that out there. Leaving that out there for
Mahomes. Bruh.
Bryce
When's Kadarius
Toney
gonna come back to the NFL?
Exciting overtime win.
Wait, you know that video, right?
Garbage.
You know that video, right? That I'm talking about. When
What?
they ask Kadarius Toney, they're like, "Who your favorite teammate is?" And he looks at the camera, and he's like, "Dan Mahomes."
Dan Mahomes. A rat.
Friggin' Kadarius, man. All right, let's go to the NFC West. We'll wrap up the NFC here.
NFC West.
All right. This is gonna be by far
big story, bro.
the worst. This is the worst in my opinion. The San Francisco 49ers. Let me preface this by saying I'm gonna give them an F. I think they've done by far the worst.
They're doing their reboot. Reboot.
But it's so bad. So I'm not even. I'm just gonna name you the guys they've lost. All right. Travarius Ward, Dre Greenlaw, Devondre Campbell, who's still a free agent. Joshua Dobbs, Brandon Allen, Isaac Yediam, Aaron Banks, Rock Ya-Sin, Jalen Moore, Taylona Hufanga, Elijah Mitchell, Nick McLeod, Jordan Mason. It's absolutely
Debo.
Was it John Feliciano who retired? Malik Collins, Javon Hargrave, Debo. David, I thought they were gonna lose Juszczyk, but then he resigned. Bro, crazy the amount of people that just dipped out of there. And then
Bye-bye.
on top of that, you waited to extend Brock Purdy, who's now gonna want a boatload of money, right? Because everyone and their mother's getting paid. And
well, no, I think this is a good move because I think if the Niners, if
Bad
Brock
move.
Purdy
I disagree.
cannot perform like this, then why would you pay him? He's not gonna be able to afford
Are they?
the
Yeah,
super
but
team
here's what's gonna happen. You know,
if they don't,
you know Brock Purdy is good though. You're gonna stink this year probably.
yeah, but know Brock Purdy's good when he has super team.
Yeah, but dude, he's gonna want to leave then. You need to keep him.
Yeah, but maybe it's worth it to leave.
Dude,
if
you
I
botched.
think if he performs well this season, given the talent around him, I think then you pay him.
Yeah, he's gonna cost
really
even more.
bad
But my point.
This season, don't pay him.
No, you pay him now. You pay him now. He's young. You pay
What
him
if he's
now.
booty cheeks?
When's he up for a deal? Is he done?
I think after this season.
It's gonna loom. It's gonna loom so large, and you're gonna have to pay him more next year because the cap's gonna go up again. Trust me, you pay him now, you get it out of the way. That way you can actually budget for what you can spend the next 5 or 6 years. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's due. He's his deal's done after.
Yeah,
this year.
and then additionally you bring in Mac Jones, right? Like you brought in Mac Jones to do what exactly? I don't know, like backup whoever. Like, dude, you fucked up with Trey Lance, and you were lucky enough to get Brock
Jones.
Purdy. Crazy.
Star this year.
And then they go ahead and sign DeMarcus.
Did you even hear that, Matt?
What?
Bold prediction. I whispered it because it's.
I heard Mac
in a little
Jones, and then
crevice
I heard
now.
you stop.
Mac Jones. Bold prediction. KB's bold
Oh
prediction.
goodness me.
Mac Jones, the guy that Kyle Shanahan wanted all along back in the whatever draft that was. 2020. He will start this year.
A game
He's
or
going to take over Brock Purdy's job.
A
Multiple games. He's going to take the job from him. I mean, I whispered it. It's probably not going to happen.
Hell nah.
But if it does, you heard it here first.
Dude.
Cracks.
They made a lot of trades, the 49ers, dude. They got rid of Debo. They got a 5th rounder for him. They got Jordan Mason. Didn't get much for him. Yeah, like, I don't know. And they brought back Juszczyk. Then they signed DeMarcus Robinson, who had 2 more DIs than most of the league last year. So, yeah, I give him an F. I give him an F. I think they should have extended Brock Purdy already. Everybody and their mother dipped out of there. They didn't really sign anybody, so I don't know. I give him an F.
Your eye out.
I give him an F. I don't like it.
Daddy Mac. Your eye out.
All right. Well, I mean, that's
first one in the media to say it.
That's a take. Should the Eagles reunite with 36-year-old Julio Jones? No.
No,
that's dumb.
Done. Bye-bye.
No, that's dumb. Let him go off.
No.
Let him go off into the sunset.
To the sunset. Bye-bye.
The Seattle Seahawks. Now, I'm interested to hear your take on this because obviously they bring in Sam Darnold. 3 years, $110, $5 million, $55 guaranteed. They booted DK Metcalf to Pittsburgh. They got a 2nd-round pick back, which was nice. And then they traded Geno Smith to the Raiders, obviously before they brought in Darnold. But they traded Geno, and they got a 3rd-rounder for him. So they got a lot of draft capital now, which is always a good thing. Can never have too much of that. They brought in Cooper Kupp as well. 3 years, $45. Dude, look, everyone was talking, oh, it's not worth it. You're gonna have to pay him so much money. Dude, the Rams are gonna be paying a lot of that money anyway, right? So 3 years, $45, not really that bad. As a base salary, that's not too bad. I don't know what to the extent that hits the cap.
Cooked, though.
Dude, it's fine. He's solid though. He's good, and he's literally your Tyler Lockett replacement. Right? Like, obviously, you don't have that DK threat anymore. You could find a guy, maybe. You could draft a guy that could do that for you.
He's 31, and he's, like, missed so many games the past 3 years.
It'll be fine, man. It'll be fine. I think the Seahawks, I think they did pretty good, man. Honestly. I think, obviously, Geno to Darnold's definitely a side grade, for sure. I don't think anybody's going to argue that. And then Kupp, from DK to Kupp is, probably a little bit of a downgrade at this point, but I think it's fine. They got a ton of draft capital. They brought in Marquez Valdes-Scantling, too, a little bit more of that. They got DeMarcus Lawrence, too, from the Cowboys. 3 years, $42 million.
Did you see his beef with Micah Parsons?
So good.
Hilarious.
Dude, he was calling Micah a clown, right?
Yeah.
Essentially.
Because he said like in his presser, he was like, I love Dallas, is my home.
He's like, you ain't winning shit there.
But I ain't winning a Super Bowl there.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure. Then Micah was like, not with that attitude. And then he's like, shut up, clown.
Yeah, he was like, shut up, boy.
Paraphrased. Hysterical.
Yeah, man, I think the Seahawks did very good this offseason. So I'll give them a B+. Because I like when teams get a lot of draft capital. Obviously, it depends.
I don't.
Oh, really?
I disagree with you.
Really? I mean, here you take on
Seattle's. I think they got a C.
Wow.
I don't really like Cooper Kupp. I don't really like Sam Darnold. I don't really get or like the Sam Darnold. I guess maybe Geno is demanding more money but you're getting a quarterback that doesn't do well under pressure and is prone for mistakes, which is basically kind of what Geno is.
That's fair.
But arguably worse. And now he's behind like Sam Darnold came from arguably the best situation he's ever going to have, with like 2 elite receivers, one of the best in
Agreed.
the league, a pretty solid offensive line, a great offensive play caller, and Kevin O'Connell.
Mhm.
Now you're getting like a defensive head coach and Mike McDonald, and then you're getting like a depleted receiving core with like an aging Cooper Cup, Jackson
I
Smith
think
and
it's fine.
Jigba, a much worse offensive line. I think this is more like Mike McDonald just trying to say goodbye to the old guard of Seattle, and they kind of want to run like a different offense, more like
Yeah.
a power style
Yeah, they're gonna run the
offense
ball
with
a
like
lot.
2 running backs, like
It's fine.
single back set,
Yeah,
one receiver out. Which I mean, like, cool. Let's see if it works.
man, I think a lot of the
But
league is
I mean,
waking
like,
up.
I don't think this is the way to go. I think I guess you could argue you're getting younger, but I don't think Darnold's an upgrade from Smith.
No,
I think it's a
I don't think that
downgrade.
either. I think you
I
made
don't
a
think
lot of good
Cooper
points
Kupp's an
though.
upgrade from Metcalf. But
Yeah.
I think overall, I if I'm a Seattle fan, I'm like, what the hell? Like this same shit,
Well,
different year.
look, I think
kind of vibes.
I think you made a lot of good points. I don't agree with most of them, but I think that your points are valid. Because I think it could go either way, right? Like you said, like aging Cooper Cup, fine. Well, not fine per se, but it's a downgrade from DK, but you got money off the books. You don't have to pay DK now.
Yeah, DK's also really
he's
not
also
the receiver they want for
No,
that kind of system.
no, exactly.
He's more of like a go ball,
Yeah.
like chuck it deep, because that's where he gets most of his
Yeah.
production from, and that's not.
I
Really
think
the
JSN's
offense
gonna
they
have a
wanna
big year
run
this year. I think JSN's gonna have a
with
big
like
year.
heavy play action and smash mouth offense.
I think if they can
Honestly,
protect Darnold,
if I'm doing fantasy, I want JSN and I want the running backs.
oh yeah, dude, Charbonnet and
I don't want
Kenneth,
Darnold. I don't
Kenneth
want
Walker.
Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, for sure.
JSN and give me Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet.
I think a lot of teams saw what the Eagles and the Chiefs did last year. Now they just ran the football, and
That's what I think. I think they're just gonna go smash mouth run
Yeah.
control offense,
I would love
which
that.
could be successful. I personally don't see how they're gonna be much different than last year. I can see them being a wild card fringe playoff team again.
Yeah,
That's probably like most likely scenario.
I
But
agree.
honestly, I see this. I
9
see
and
they're
8.
more likely to crash and burn than they are
Fair point.
to like fly high and win the division.
Fair point. Yeah, I see maybe like ceilings 10 wins, 11 wins, maybe 11.
I think it's like probably like a 10% chance they win the division. Probably about like a 60% chance
Oh, that's
they
Make the
they like
playoffs.
stay in the range they're in
Oh,
now,
yeah.
like fringe playoffs, and then probably a 30% chance they crash and burn.
We'll see.
Which if they had Geno, I'd probably put that at 20%.
You guys deserve so much more viewers and subscribers. No cap. This is my first stream, but I really like your takes, and you guys take it seriously and actually read all your comments. Oh, well, thank you. Browns and Packers fan 101. I appreciate that. We
Thank
like you.
Browns and Packers.
We need more
fan
people like
101.
you in our chat. All right, let's move on to the Cardinals here. Defensive end Josh Sweat, obviously, was their big ticket item. 4 years, $76.6 million. 41.
Overpay.
Dude, he went off in the Super Bowl though. Like, how was he not gonna get
That's
a bag?
one game, bud. The
He
dude
was
is
good.
so
Nah,
hot and
you're
cold.
wrong. You're wrong. He's good.
Dude is so hot and cold, bro.
Bro, but you
He had
watched
he
no,
has
no,
stretches
no,
where
no,
he goes
no.
off, and then he had stretches where he was like dead.
Hard disagree. He was good
No
2 years
sacks.
ago.
I think
He was good
that's
last year, and he
overpaid.
was great this year.
He was horrible last year at the second during
He
the
was
collapse.
okay.
He didn't have like a sack
Everyone
in like 7
was.
games.
Everyone was.
Even this year, he had a stretch where he wasn't getting any sacks.
Oh,
Dude's good.
He's a beast.
Not worth that
I
amount
love
of
him.
money. I'm glad the Eagles let him walk.
dude, no, you're wrong. I'm with the guy in the chat. Or lady. I don't know if you're a man or a woman, but I'm with the guy in the chat. I'll tell you that much. He said he's a beast. I think that's a good signing for them. And dude, they needed a pass rusher. They so desperately needed one. That was like the one thing they were missing all year.
Yeah, that's what they need. But I think that he's more of a complimentary pass rusher, and I think he's not worth that amount of money. I'm not saying he isn't good. He's great.
It's a good
But
signing.
he's not worth that amount of money.
They also brought in Dalvin Tomlinson, who was really, really good with the Browns. The Browns, if you remember, had the best run stop win rate in the league in 2023. They were really, really good, and he was a big part of that. So they get Josh Sweat, they get Dalvin Tomlinson. I think they made a couple moves on the line. They re-signed Evan Brown. They re-signed Zay Jones. I mean, they need a little bit.
Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, Jacoby Brissett they brought in as well. I mean, their offense is kind of meh at this point. I think they should get a little bit more pass rushing and not just rely on Josh Sweat as much. But I mean, I think it could be an A. I think it's probably a B right now. It's a good start though. I think it's a good start, honestly.
Solid. I mean, if you, I hope Marvis Harrison kind of develops. He had, like, arguably, I guess, a disappointing season.
Yeah.
What was his final stat line? Did he even get over 1,000 yards? I don't think he did.
I don't know. You want to look it up?
Cause, like, for the hype he got, I don't. I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, tell me. Because I'm not too sure.
I don't think he did. Looking it up.
All right, while you're looking at that, I'm gonna move on to the Rams.
Yeah, move on to the Rams.
So,
I look this up because
obviously,
I don't know why it's taking longer.
They got they brought back Matthew Stafford after there was much talk, whether he was going to get traded or what was going to go on. They ended up restructuring his deal, keep him.
He did not have 1,000 yards.
He did not.
He had 885 yards. 8
wow,
touchdowns.
really? So he wasn't even particularly close.
No.
Interesting. Huh. Cardinals going to Cardinal. What can I say?
Cardinals going to Cardinal. I'm just double checking to see if he played all 16 games. I'm pretty sure he did.
I don't think so. Yes, the Rams, they brought back Matthew Stafford. Tutu Atwell re-signed with them, $10 million, 1-year deal.
Yeah, he did play all 16 games.
Interesting. Wait, 16 or 17?
Or, 17 games. 17.
Okay,
17.
Okay. And they brought back Stafford, but they also brought in Devontae Adams, which I think is a sick signing, dude. Stafford to Adams is sick. 2 years, $44 million.
Yeah, I think Adams is going to be what they wanted Cooper Kupp to be this year.
I think it's so good.
Injuries.
Him and Puka. Wow, that's going to be sick. Dude, Puka's he's not going to be 17 anymore. Give me number.
Yeah, I know. They changed his
12.
number. Like, what the heck?
Yeah. Number 12 now. It's going to be so weird. Like, don't do that.
Oh, I hate it. Why would you do this?
Yeah, so here's the thing.
Thank God the Rams have no fans that have to, like, change their jerseys out.
Yeah, I think at this point, yeah, you definitely want Devontae over Kupp. Here's the thing with Kupp, though, right? So they did release him. They're taking on a dead cap hit of $14.78 million next year, $7.48 million in 2026. But they did, so that's their dead money, but they are freeing up $15 million in cap space. Obviously, they used a lot of that to sign Devontae Adams. So I think it actually worked out well. I'm not really a cap guy, so I'm not really sure like what the dead money versus, guaranteed money versus cap space. I don't really know how all that works. I've tried to learn. It's crazy. But it seems like
as an Eagles fan, we don't have to worry about that.
Dude, we have the cap god. We have the
cap god. I don't have to bother myself.
We have the good I don't know how you would say greatest GM, whatever the geekwis is.
the Cubus.
The GM-bus.
The Giambus.
The Giambus.
The Giambus.
Yeah.
Gimbus.
I think that the Rams also brought in Poona Ford as well. And they brought back Jimmy G. So Jimmy Garoppolo staying in LA. I think the Rams are going to rely on their young defense to really carry them. They're obviously very heavily invested in their offense, kind of similar to like how the Eagles are set up. So yeah, I'll give
I think that's a game I'm going to try to go this year. Eagles Rams.
I would like
in
that.
Philly. That's definitely a game on my radar.
I'll be on
so
that
to speak.
I'm going to give the Rams a B+. I like what they did. I'm a fan.
I think the Rams are set to re-win the division. They were also the team that had the closest run against the Super Bowl champs.
Dude, they were the best team in that division.
And they're young too. They're gonna get better. I think they're the best team.
I think they're clearly the best team in that division at this point.
I guess quick little recap because we didn't say for NFC North and NFC South. Who wins the North? Who wins the South?
Oh,
just based on free agency. Quick little.
Based off where we are right now.
So
dude,
East,
I think the Panthers could. I think the Panthers could win the South.
Dude, I was gonna say the Panthers too.
Look, obviously the Bucks are gonna be the favorite as they should be.
Yes, I agree.
But everybody's a year older there. Godwin's coming back from the injury. I mean, dude, the thing with
Bryce Young was phenomenal.
He was really good, dude.
He was so good.
You finally saw him.
I love
like
freaking who's the coach there?
Canales, right?
Canales,
Dave Canales.
I love Canales.
Dude, like it's crazy to me.
They
like at the beginning of last season, we thought Bryce Young's career was like over. It looked over for like the longest. They benched him for Andy Dalton.
Yeah, and they have a top pick too. They can like
Yeah,
pick
man.
somebody
I
really
think-
good. If they get
look.
if they get a game changer in the draft, I think the
I
Panthers
will
are gonna win this.
lean towards the Bucks for now, but the Panthers winning that division would not
I'm not,
surprise
you
me
guys
at
all
all.
know I'm a big Bryce Young
It
supporter.
would not
He's
surprise
my
me at
boy.
all.
He has no Super Bowl career losses in the Super Bowl. He
NFC
has no playoff losses. Dude is goated.
NFC West, I think the 49ers are irrelevant, dude. I really think they might
I don't
finish
know,
last.
man. I think
I think they might
don't
finish
know. They
last
lost
again.
A lot of players.
Cardinals, they'll be better, but they're still not there. I think it's between the Rams and the Seahawks, and I think the Rams are better. So
I think it's Rams to lose.
yeah, I think it's the Rams
And
division to
then
lose.
Eagles. What about NFC North? Quick. That's arguably the best division ever that couldn't
Lions.
win a playoff game.
Lions.
Lions.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
They
I
didn't.
think Lions
They didn't win a
still.
single playoff
I think Bears are
game.
sneaky though.
They didn't win a playoff
Bears are
game last
sneaky.
year. Oh my god.
Yeah, they had like the most wins ever for like a division.
They had
and none
like
of them won a playoff game.
they had 3. Oh my gosh. You might not like this take, but I think Jalen Milroe will be the best quarterback in the draft. I actually don't hate that take. I just don't think it's going to be
Jalen
Shanor. I think it'll be
Milroe.
Cam, but
I think it's gonna be Cam.
we might touch on the draft at the end once we get through all the teams. But we actually might do it.
Milroe from Alabama.
Little sneak preview because we're going to talk about this at the end of the show. But we might be doing a little show for the draft. We might be trying to live stream the first round. I just don't know how to set it up, and I don't know how if we're going to get hit with like DCMA, copyright, all that bad jazz. So I'll have to figure that
I
out.
don't want to do that.
I'll have to figure that out. Maybe if we have it like on in the background, if we're like in person watching it, it'll be okay. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll try and touch on the draft at the end. But let's move on to the AFC. Now we're halfway through. I think we're doing pretty good on time though, because that took us what, 50 minutes, 55 minutes, something like that.
Yeah,
So,
I think so.
we'll probably hit 2 hours, but that's fine. All right, let's start with the Jets. They started things off by releasing Devontae
Jets.
Adams. Look, they distanced themselves from Aaron Rodgers. I think they probably would have been fine retaining him and just playing out the contract. I think they would have been okay, but I could totally see why they did what they did.
The culture, bro.
Dude,
they needed
yes.
a reset.
I think that's completely
It's not that Rodgers is
understandable.
bad, is they needed a reset culture-wise.
I agree with that.
They were destroyed.
Yes. So they got rid of Rodgers and Adams, and then I think they made the best quarterback move of any team in the offseason so far by signing Justin Fields, 2 years, $40 million, with 30 guaranteed. This is the perfect move for a team like the Jets. I touched on this, in many other podcasts before, but you are not a quarterback away from winning any type of meaningful football game, in my opinion, if you're the Jets.
True.
2 years, $40 million, perfectly affordable, right? You have a lot of dead money tied up with Rodgers right now, but you did free up basically $30 million by releasing Devontae Adams, all right? So you can afford to do so. If he stinks, you move on. That's fine. He's young enough. He's not even 26 yet, so he's young enough where you could gauge his performance and figure out, all right, is he actually going to be a good quarterback moving forward? Maybe you have contract negotiations down the road if he ends up performing over the next 2 years. If not, then you move on. You're still bad, so you'll probably have a good pick. And then you can draft a quarterback, right? Or move up.
Plus, he's exciting that like you're not going to turn the fans off like you
yes,
did this year.
And yeah, he's actually going to draw some eyes, right? It's not. There's only 3 quarterbacks in the history of the NFL to run for 1,000 yards. It's Michael Vick, Lamar Jackson, and Justin Fields. The guy can play. We know this. They made a couple of questionable decisions after that. They signed Brandon Stevens, who was statistically he was a top 10 worst cornerback and giving up the most yards allowed out of all the starting cornerbacks last year. Former Raven. 3 years, $36 million for a guy that's not good. Didn't like that pick. And then they signed the Jag safety Andrew Sisko, 1 year deal, $10 million. Good value, but dude, the guy was benched by the Jags last year. Like, you have to be pretty bad to be benched by the Jags. So those were 2 moves I wasn't necessarily huge about. They signed Isaiah Oliver though, good veteran guy. Josh Myers, more center depth, that's fine. They signed Derek Nandi, good pass rusher, from the Chiefs. So they made some good. Oh, and then what was it? They extended what's his name? Jamie Sherwood, which that was also a great pick. That was a great move by them. 3 years, $45 million, keeping him in New York. The guy is he's the real deal. He's a very good tackler. I really like that move. So they had a couple of meh moves. They had a couple of good moves. I'm still going to lean towards better than worse. I'll give them a B plus. And again, this could change, throughout the offseason and into the draft. But I think the Jets made some really, really good money moves. I think they got a lot of bang for their buck.
I agree.
So
I agree there, Matt.
we got
excellent analysis there, Matt.
Well, thank you, sir. We should get to some Jets games this year since they're right there.
Yeah.
We should try to.
If they're cheap.
Yeah, if they're cheap. All right. Let's move on to the Dolphins. Dolphins bringing in Zach Wilson. So he's back in the AFC.
A lot of MILFs in Miami.
Dude, a lot of MILFs. Well, there's about to be one less MILF with Tyreek Hill probably leaving. Yeah, they still have that looming over them.
You think he's gonna leave? I don't.
He requested a trade. He wants out.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Did he formally?
Yeah.
Did he formally do it?
I don't know, but he wants out.
I don't think he did.
I know
he
wants out. I know he wants out. I that's what I've heard anyway. But.
I think this might have been. I think this is fake news.
Yeah, we'll see. They got some line help a little bit. They re-signed Liam Eichenberg. They brought in James Daniels from the Steelers. Coming off the ACL, so what Daniels is. You have to see about that. I don't know. They made a lot of meh moves, in my opinion. They brought in Willie Gay. They did get Ryan Stonehouse, who's probably the best punter in the league. I don't know what Tennessee was thinking letting him go. They brought in Alexander Madison to replace Raheem Mostert. And they brought in Nick Westbrook-Ikhine from the Titans. So yeah,
9 touchdowns last year. Solid guy.
Yeah, until I started him in fantasy, and then he put up 2 duds. Asshole.
Cool.
Sorry, Nick. If you're listening, Nick, yeah, you're not an asshole. It's my fault. I played you at the wrong time. Yeah, I don't know. I think they made a lot of meh moves. I give them a B minus. I'm not really sure where they stand in the draft right now. Obviously they didn't make the playoffs, but
actually, fun fact: this is like this could potentially be the first time ever that every single team owns their own first-round pick in the common draft era.
What's that? Wait, say that again.
Right now, every team owns their own first-round pick.
Really?
Yeah.
No shot. Dude, thank you. Someone agrees with me on Ryan Stonehouse. Dude, he's not underrated. He's the GOAT. He is so good.
Yeah, Ryan Stonehouse is a phenomenal punter. As someone who does a fantasy league with punters,
he's the GOAT.
Dude is like always the #1 fantasy
That's
punter.
why he's the GOAT.
Stud.
Dude, he has the record for most. He averaged the most net yards per punt 2 years ago. Last year he got hurt and it was still good. Or was it 2 years ago he got hurt and it was still good last year after getting hurt? And then the Titans are like, oh yeah, we don't need that. What the? They brought in Johnny Hecker. He's not better than Ryan Stonehouse. I'm sorry. Anyway,
Ryan Stonehouse is goated punter.
I'll give the Dolphins a B minus. I don't know. They got the whole Tyreek thing to figure out, and they made some
13th pick in the draft.
13th pick. They need to go O-line because James Daniels. I'm sorry, he's fine. Liam Eichenberg's probably be better in keeping him there, but I don't know. Like, just I don't know. I don't agree with it. They need better. They need better players on the line. So it's a B minus for now, but again, probably could get better after the draft. All right, let's go to the Bills. Obviously, the big ticket item for the Bills, they extended Josh Allen a mammoth 6-year, $330 million extension, $147 million guaranteed at signing. It's backloaded, but I mean, let's fucking go, man. Josh Allen,
good for him.
Absolutely deserves it. Coming off the MVP season.
Yeah, too bad his freaking fiance sings originals in the ripoff.
Bro, what's her name?
Haley Steinfeld.
Oh, that's right. What's her name?
Bruh. If she didn't sing an original in the movie she was in, then perhaps the Bills would win like 4 Super Bowls by now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did Micah Hyde retire yet? I don't know if Micah Hyde retired yet. I don't think he did.
I think Micah Hyde
wasn't he with
did not officially retire.
Wasn't he with Green Bay? I thought he was with Green Bay for a minute there.
He was like originally before he was with the Bills.
He is a free agent.
He is currently a free agent.
Yeah, he is not.
Yeah, he was with Green Bay. He didn't even play at all last year.
Yeah, he's not retired, but
he's probably done. Bye bye.
Probably done. But yeah, dude, Josh Allen. Again, this is another reason why the 49ers should have signed Purdy, because now Purdy's gonna have dollar signs in his eyes, like, oh, Josh Allen got 6 years, $330 last year. I should probably get that this year. No. You can get him for cheaper this year. Sign him. Line
Bro,
him.
I'm telling you, if Purdy plays like dog shit this year, which I could see happening
Yeah.
because they don't have the talent around him, they're not going to pay him.
Yeah, well,
He's going to get like a Baker Mayfield-esque deal. He's not going to get paid billions
we'll
of
see.
dollars.
We'll see.
I think that's what the Niners are thinking. They want to see if he can perform without a super team.
You're right. Yeah, but that's not why they did everything they did.
If you're going
They
to
didn't
pay
do
a
all that just to
quarterback
test. They didn't
X
do all
amount
that.
of money, if you're going to pay the quarterback in that 50-plus range, you have to be assured that they can perform without the super team, or you have to have Howie Roseman.
Bro, they didn't do all that just to test Brock Purdy though. Why would
doing it to test Brock Purdy?
No, they're not.
Well, also because like they, it's like kind of what the Eagles had to do in 2020. Like if you're doing all these backloaded deals,
Yeah, but they didn't have all.
either do what the Saints do and just keep pushing things back the road infinitely
No.
and just always being
That's
mid,
how you create bubbles.
or you
What
have
do
to take
bubbles
a
do?
year
They
where you
pop.
just eat it and then you can reset your cap.
No. You're not doing this to test Brock Purdy. You're doing this because nobody wants to play for your team.
You're not doing this to
The culture there
test
stinks.
Brock Purdy.
The culture there. I don't know if you watched them last year. They were a mess, Kyle. The whole team.
Colts?
No, the 49ers. Why are you brought up?
Yeah, because they were injured.
Why are you talking about the Colts?
Why did you? I heard the Colts. I'm deaf.
I
losing my hearing.
we were talking about Brock Purdy, no?
Yeah, no, we were. That's why I got confused when I heard Colts.
No, I did not say Colts. Anyway.
Chat, did he say Colts?
No. Don't bring Sam into this. The Bills could get someone decent.
I didn't say Sam. I said chat.
Oh, chat. The Bills could get someone or a decent pick. I said culture. Yeah, I said culture. I like this guy. He said the Bills could get a decent pick or somebody for Dawson Knox. I think they're gonna keep Dawson Knox though because he's a good blocker. And
no, they're gonna keep Dawson Knox. They like the two tight ends.
Yeah, Kincaid's the catcher supposedly, except they don't really throw to him as much as they should.
No, they like their two tight end sets in Buffalo.
The Bills also reached an agreement with Gregory Rousseau, keeping him in Buffalo 4 years, $80 million. Another great move on their part. Lock them up, young talent. They got Larry Ogunjobi and Michael Hawk, and then they were immediately suspended for PEDs. I don't know if you saw that.
No.
Yeah. They actually nicked a year from Matt Milano's contract, so he's gonna be a free agent next year. I think it's because they people are like, oh, why the worst agent of all time, right? Why are you getting a year off your deal? I think it's because he gets more money now, and then he'll be able to.
Yeah, he'll get more money now. Plus, he can test the market.
Yeah. And then they brought in Joey Bosa, dude. I tell you what. First of all, my grade for the Bills is an A. I think they've done everything they needed to do and more. They got Kyer Elam out of there
too. I thought that was an excellent.
Dude, they got Josh Palmer too. Yeah,
severely underrated.
Oh my goodness, that's so good.
I
Josh
think he's
Palmer,
gonna do phenomenal with the Bills.
They re-signed Ty Johnson. Yeah, I think they did great. I think they did awesome. So I'm giving them an A. They blocked up Josh Allen. They addressed they needed some more pass rushing. They did that. And they got a replacement for Amari Cooper, who's a younger guy and who's serviceable. So great.
Yeah, I think he could do better than even the Amari Cooper role.
Yeah.
Just based on how that Bills offense runs.
Winning.
I think he's just kind of a dependable guy.
Winning.
That's not necessarily an alpha, but I think that's just if Keon Coleman steps up too, like having another year and not being healthy, because I know he had a couple injuries throughout this year.
Yeah.
I know we were really high on him going into the year.
Yeah, we were.
And he had a little bit bang up with injuries and stuff. But I think if he takes a step forward with another training camp under his belt, another offseason, I think the Bills are primed for another AFC East route.
Yeah. This guy's been begging us to talk about the Browns.
Unless this other team.
We're gonna get to the Browns here. We're gonna get to the Browns here real soon. I promise. We got one more team, and we'll talk all the Browns what you want. We gotta talk about the Patriots first though, because they are the first team on this list for me to get a A+. I think they've had the best offseason. I think it's really close. I think the Bills did really, really good. There's a couple other teams that did really good. All right, so they got Milton Williams, right? Everyone thought he was signing with Carolina, right? Like everybody thought.
I did. I thought they were going to go to my boy Bryce
4
Young.
years, $104 million, 63 guaranteed. Now, if you want to say they overpaid for Milton, that's fine. I think you're right. They probably did overpay.
I don't think they did.
Oh, so you don't? So
Milton's
you think
Milton's good?
You think the Cardinals overpaid for Sweat, but the Patriots did not overpay for Milton Williams?
No, because Milton's much younger, and I think Milton's
so good,
every year's
man.
gone up in improvement. He's so good.
Milton's so good,
and
dude.
you can even if you I know because I initially thought like you, I thought he was overpaid. overpaid.
Yeah.
But then I dove
was a
into
big
some
deal.
of his film, and by film it was some analysis.
Brett Coleman.
And I think that a lot of his sacks and stuff. I'm granted he was doing single team,
Yeah.
not double team, like because Carter
He'll have a
was
lot
always
more
double
attention
team.
this year.
But I think he's gonna be good.
Yeah.
I think he's well worth the money. He's
Oh yeah.
young,
I think it's
ascending
worth
player. It was a given he was gonna get paid so much
Oh,
money.
yeah,
I knew the Eagles
for
were
sure.
gonna keep him because of that.
So they get Milton Williams. They get Robert Spillane from the for the Raiders. Another great pick. 3 years, $37.5 million, $20.6 million guaranteed. They got Carlton Davis from the Bucks. 3 years, $60 million, $34.5 guaranteed. They got Morgan Moses, offensive lineman from the Ravens. Harold Landry, they got from the Titans, bro. They brought in Josh Dobbs as the backup for I can't think of his name right now.
For Drake
May.
May.
I was gonna say Drew Lock, and I'm
Good
like,
old
that's not
Drake.
right. Yeah, Drew Lock. They got Garrett Bradbury on the line. They brought in Matt Collins, who I thought was severely underrated last year.
True.
And
He had
they're
an amazing catch in that game against the Ravens.
yeah. And they're looking to trade
Win
Joe
the
Milton,
playoffs.
who, if you remember, had like 1 or 2 really, really good games at the end of last year. So they're
Wouldn't surprise me if they get like a 4th or 5th out of him too.
yeah. Oh yeah, Morgan Moses was from the Jets. You're right. I think he was. Who am I thinking of then? I thought he was a Raven at some point. I'm probably thinking of someone else.
Morgan Moses. I think you might be thinking something
Yeah.
else.
What was it? The only thing that the Patriots did that pissed me off was they released David Andrews, who was like, they kind of did him dirty. He's a longtime captain. He's the last. I wouldn't say he's the last guy from the Tom Brady era, but he's kind of the last guy from the Tom Brady era. He's a captain for a very, very long time. So they released him. Listen to me, dude. I think this is going to be I think you're going to hear this name.
Oh, he was
year.
on the Ravens.
He what last year?
Yeah, he was on the. I'm looking at his Morgan Moses' thing. Said he was on the Ravens at one point.
Yeah, at one point. I'm saying, where was he
I got
last year? I think he was a
confused 'cause
Jet
it's
last year.
They were saying he was.
Anyway, here's the move that I really, really like from the Patriots. Kayvon Chason. Do you know who that is?
No.
Dude, he's gonna be that's such a steal. 1 year, $5 million contract.
Oh, he was on the Ravens in
Raiders.
2023, 2022.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. Dude, Kayvon Chason. Woo! For $5 million, he's gonna be good. He's a raw talent. They got Christian Elias too. They brought him back. And then they got Stephon Diggs, man. They got Diggs today.
Yeah,
they finally got Drake May a weapon. I am so excited. A+. A+ across the board. You knew they were going to spend. They put all the money in all the right places, in my opinion. I think they did phenomenal. So,
and they got Mike Vrabel as head coach.
And obviously they got Vrabel now.
Very great head coach.
Dude, so
I think
A+.
if they kill it in the draft, which I think they easily can with what pick do they have? Pick number 4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
pick
up there.
4.
They're up there.
Dude, and if like there's a quarterback run for some reason, like they could get again one of these like type people, you know, they could get a Tyler Warren, maybe an Ashton Genty.
Yeah, they could
to help with the offense. Or they could get one of the premier tackles, like the guy from Missouri or the guy from
I'm not gonna lie, I have to do my draft pre-work still.
I've done a little bit.
I've been watching
Campbell.
March Madness, man. I'm too invested.
March Madness.
Yeah.
Not very mad this year, to be honest, I will say.
Yeah, chalk madness this year. Kinda.
Yeah, pretty much favorites across the board.
All right, let's go on. All right, so who do you want? Who do you have winning the division then?
Podcast.
I think it's still the Bills.
Here
right?
I have the Bills still. I think it's very obvious.
But
I think the Pats are the second best team.
Dude, I think you're right. I think the Pats are coming back, man.
I think it's a lock. I think Pats are back.
Our boy in the chat said they don't need Genty. They have Ramondre. They have Ramondre and they have
massive fumble problems.
Antonio Gibson
Genty's
too.
Gonna be a game changer.
Yeah, I mean the Patriots did have a little bit of a two system thing. I think Antonio Gibson's still there. So
yeah, I think he's still there too. But they both have fumbling problems, and Ashton Genty's way better than both of them.
He's the premier guy that everybody wants.
Dude, Ashton Genty, I could see him going to New England, the Raiders. That'd be pretty exciting. And not Carolina, they have a running back, but I think the Raiders, New England.
There's a lot of teams that need a running back.
Jacksonville, Chicago.
That would be good. All right, let's talk about the Browns here in the NFC or AFC North. So obviously their big move this offseason was
Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, clearly. Obvious. What do you think I was gonna say, dude? No, it was
Obviously
it was
Kenny Pickett. Super Bowl champion Kenny
it was
Pickett.
it was
He took the game-winning kneels.
Dude, yeah. The way he kneels, man, is just it's better than any other guy I've ever seen.
That's Super Bowl champion kneeling.
It's better than any other guy I've seen. No, dude, it was Myles Garrett, you dunce. 6 years.
Right. Yeah, Myles Garrett.
6 years, $204.8 million contract, 59.3 guaranteed, and 40.7 more next March. That's a lot of money. He's also like kind of the best defensive player in football.
Yeah,
he's also a little bit of a
close and
scumbag,
personal
but that's
last
besides
year.
the point.
I got to see him up close and personal last year when I was at the Eagles-Browns game. He like lumped over the Eagles special team line to block a field goal. Absolutely nuts.
Yeah, it was...
the one thing that was like, so like I got passes to the sideline during pregame warmups. Unfortunately, I don't know why. Shout out to NFL Extra Points Rewards credit card. They put me in the Browns corner with all the Browns players practicing.
Oh, we love that.
But I was within arm's reach of Myles Garrett, and the dude looks like the Predator and the Terminator combined. He is a freak. It's pure muscle.
Yeah.
I have never seen another human being in my life
like made in a lab.
Like that.
Like
I don't think I ever will again. He is a freak, and I wish that he wasn't so greedy and he could have been an Eagle.
Dude's made in a lab, man. It's crazy.
Oh my god. I've never seen anybody look like that.
That's not the only help they got on the line, though. They also brought in the former Texan and Cowboy Malik Collins. 2 years, $20 million, 13 guaranteed. They brought in Joe Tryon-Shoyinka from the Bucks, which is fine. I mean, 1 year, $5 million essentially is, I think that's pretty good value for a former first-round pick. They got Jack Conklin to stick around for another year, which is nice. They re-signed Devin Bush.
Solid.
They brought in our boy DeAndre Carter from off the streets.
Yeah.
And a low-key good signing. They brought in Tevin Jenkins, former first-round pick from the Bears. Didn't really pan out. I think it's a good signing. I think they got a good guy there.
Yeah.
And they brought in Jerome Baker too, who is a Cleveland native, if I'm not wrong.
And the rapist,
all that to say they get an F because they're still harboring
for the rest of the year.
All that to say they still get an F because they're still harboring Deshaun Watson. But if I had to give them an actual grade, I'd give them a B. I mean, they did fine. And
I'm
again,
it'll to see what they do at number 2.
Yeah,
honestly.
so
I'm curious if they go quarterback or not.
You know, they had Russ come in, didn't work out. He left without a deal. I heard that there's a name I heard out there, Kyle. Carson Wentz.
What is this name? Oh, I have heard
that. Did you hear about that? I heard Carson Wentz.
I heard he was
Kenny
Pickett.
I heard that if they didn't sign Russell Wilson, they were going to bring in a guy like Wentz. And I did hear that they were looking into trading for Brandon Ayuk, who requested a trade last July amid stalling contract negotiations. So could be on the lookout for that. Yeah, what do the Browns do with their pick? I mean, dude, what pick do they have?
They have number 2.
Do you not just go Abdul Carter and just bite the bullet at quarterback? That's what I would do.
Can you imagine if Abdul Carter and Myles Garrett on the same line? Oh my God.
Dude, that's the thing. It's like you have Myles Garrett for 6 more years, and you're gonna have Abdul Carter for 4 years. That's gonna be a fucking problem. Like that's gonna be an issue for every single team that plays you. Like that would be. Dude,
honestly,
so
I think if you do that, and then if there's a way to get Kirk Cousins from Atlanta for cheap, which I think there could be, I think I'd like.
Dude,
that
I don't know what
a
your
lot.
obsession is with Kirk.
Dude, I can see that. I think Kirk Cousins to the Browns after taking Abdul Carter with the 2nd overall pick. I'd like that. I think that'd be pretty cool. Get Amari Cooper
Kirk
back
Cousins.
for cheap too.
Oh my God.
Oh yes.
No,
Give
dude,
me Kirk Cousins on the Browns.
You find a guy.
Give me Kirk.
Obviously,
on the Browns.
they don't have a quarterback right now. They're gonna have to figure that out.
And then if it doesn't work, they're gonna be bad.
Yeah,
they could just draft a quarterback.
We'll see. Oh yeah, I didn't know quarterbacks grow on trees.
They could draft.
They should go Abdul Carter
though. Better than this year.
They should just bite them because here's my thing. I don't think there's any franchise-changing quarterback in this draft, so I think you should just go Abdul. I think that.
Or you could trade down, honestly.
Or
like we did with
trade
the
down, yeah,
Giants.
but
They have even
you
worse
could
draft
trade down
capital
and
than the Giants do.
you could trade down
to
and
be
still get
honest. So
Abdul Carter.
I would trade down or maybe get Abdul Carter.
You could trade down
I
and
think that'd be nuts.
yeah, you could trade down and still get Abdul Carter because there might be a team that
Yeah.
it just depends. Obviously,
No, I think if a cheat
probably
team is
not.
trading up to 2,
Yeah, probably
just
not.
because the only quarterback, in my opinion, that I think is worth drafting that high is Cam Ward.
Cam Ward, yeah,
And
like
I think
that
he's gonna
high.
go 101.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I don't like Shador Sanders. I think he's kind of like a just a bigger I don't want to bigger Bryce Young before Bryce Young was goated.
Yeah, maybe I could see it. Wait, but Bryce Young is not goated. So your argument?
Yeah, Bryce Young is goated.
No, he's not in your eyes.
Bryce Young has never lost.
Kyle,
a Super
we gotta
Bowl.
move on.
Dude is
We gotta
goated.
move on because we're gonna be here forever talking about Bryce fucking Young. Can't do it. I
Bryce
can't
Young
do it.
is goated.
I'm gonna be here till 10 o'clock, dude. We gotta get going. All right. Let's talk about a team that does have a quarterback, the Cincinnati Bengals. And obviously, they officially extended Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Chase gets 4 years, $161 million, 112 guaranteed. Higgins gets 4 years, $115 million for the first 2 years, fully guaranteed. So Higgins is now a top 5 paid wide receiver in the NFL, and Chase becomes the highest paid non-quarterback in the history of the NFL.
Just over 40 mil.
Yeah.
Took it over from Myles Garrett.
So I'll go with a rundown. So they did franchise tag T. Higgins. I don't know if anybody mentioned that before they actually extended him.
Then they signed him.
Then they signed him. And then they got the whole Trade Hendrickson thing going on, which he did request a trade, but now I'm hearing that apparently that's off the table, that they're working on getting him extended as well, which would be a very good
see
move.
What happens.
They got Mike Gesicki back on a 3-year, $25.5 million contract. They brought in Samaje Perine, 2 years, $3.8 million. They signed Oren Burks from the Eagles, linebacker, 2 years, $5 million, which was like one of the only things I really wanted the Eagles. Like I was kind of upset about with the Eagles, like 2 years, $5 million.
I wish
he was so good. He was so good.
Especially since Nakobe Dean's probably not gonna be
healthy. Yeah, like dude, it
year.
made so much sense to bring him back. But anyway,
they
re-signed. They re-signed Joseph Osai, 1 year, $7 million. So
you got Samaje Perine back.
Yes, I said Perine. So all right, what are your thoughts on the extensions? Like I feel like for me it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? Like damned if you do, damned if you don't.
I think you had to do it.
Yeah.
I think it shows the pride of my boy Howie Roseman that he got a Devontae Smith and AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts for way cheaper than Joe Burrow because he signed Joe Burrow, Higgins, and Chase. But you had to have done it. I think it's expensive, but I think if you didn't do it, that just sends such a horrible sign to future free agents and draft picks. Or like it's a culture thing too. And I think that like with how loaded the AFC is, and especially the AFC North too, with the Ravens, the Browns sometimes, and then the Steelers, and like with all the quarterback, you have to be special somewhere. And I think that they had to do.
And here's the thing with Cincinnati is I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 2 years, 3 years, if they start trading up to like get guys, because now you have a window, right? Now here's your window. You have to kind of hit on it.
Honestly, this year I wouldn't be surprised if they trade up.
Yeah,
they're
like
at 17, they might as well trade up and try.
They're gonna sign
one of the more talented.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're gonna draft nothing but defense. They better draft nothing but defense. D line, secondary, maybe some O line, but you don't need a running back. You don't.
I think they have to go O line or defense.
Yeah.
I think that's really the only thing that like now that like what is it like 40 or 30% of their salaries are tied up to 3 guys, which is kind of crazy. But I think with the cap's always going to be going up right now with how fast the NFL's growing.
Yeah.
I mean, even this year it jumped more than expected. So I just think that it's always better to sign your own guys.
I agree.
I think the Bengals did wait a little too long, but I think that like even this year, like free agency, not really that many big names because teams are realizing now that the cap's always going to go up.
Yeah, and every single year now.
Sign your own talent because it's going to work.
Yeah. So
I think that free agency overall is going to get less exciting.
But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see though.
Could be wrong.
A little hot take.
All right, let's move on here. We'll touch on the Steelers. They got rid of Najee, dude. No more Najee in Pittsburgh.
He went to the Chargers.
Yeah, they went to the Chargers. They brought in Kenny Gainwell instead, who's solid. I mean, I think he could start on a lot of teams, but with him and Jalen Warren, it'll probably be a committee. They brought in the Browns safety Juwan Thornhill for a 1-year deal. They got Darius Slay, which yuck. don't like that as an Eagles fan. It's gonna look weird.
Yeah.
Obviously, their big ticket item this offseason so far has been trading for DK Metcalf. They gave up a second-round pick, and they immediately signed him to a 5-year, $150 million contract extension.
Dude, rest in peace, defenders, like the random DBs in the back against the Steelers, because like they're gonna be doing an inside handoff.
Oh
And the
yeah,
random DB or safety is gonna get their shit beat out of them.
Yeah.
Double teamed by Pickens.
Literally.
And DK Metcalf.
Dude, crazy. Yeah, dude, they're
The
wideouts.
inside run. And
Their
it's gonna be like,
wideouts,
oh shit,
dude.
the corner's getting beat up by DK.
That's
and
literally
Pickens
nuts.
on the outside.
Dude, they have. I don't know what it is with Steelers wide receivers, just basket cases, all of them. I think it's crazy. I've never seen anything like it.
Well, I mean, I think the Steelers grade is inconclusive though, because I mean they don't have a quarterback.
Yeah, they don't have a quarterback currently as well. But they brought in Mason Rudolph. He's back, so now Myles Garrett can beat the shit out of him with a helmet for the next 6 years. I don't know. Grade.
Do you think Rodgers has to go here?
Oh yeah, I think that. I mean, Russ going to the Giants today, I think pretty much confirms that, right? Because I think the only other realistic, team that's in there is Minnesota, right? Like it's the only other team that could even touch them, I think.
Do you think Shador could potentially fall to them?
To
at 22?
No, I don't think
21,
so.
I should
I
say.
don't think so. They'd probably have to trade up.
Do you think Shador's worth it to get? I think if he goes to the Steelers,
dude,
that
the
wouldn't
thing
be
is,
horrible.
it's like if you draft Shador Sanders, you're basically drafting Deion Sanders into your organization. So I feel like you have to answer.
Yeah, but I think if anybody could deal with that,
whether you
Tomlin.
like that or not, like, do you like that or do you not like that? So
from what I hear, it's like his stock went down, but then I also hear a lot of people say like, yeah, he's still gonna get taken.
Oh yeah, it's
like,
a good point.
5.
I mean, that's a good point. This guy's the Steelers lost Kyle Allen, Justin Fields, and Russell Wilson. They literally lost their entire quarterback. So
yeah,
it'll be.
So I think they have. I think it's Rodgers, or
yeah, it has
I think
to be.
they could get Shador.
It has to be Rodgers. I'll give him a B- for now.
If Shador slips out of the top 10, they're gonna jump up to get.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'll put it that way. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they made a move. They said, hey.
If not, I still think they might.
They could get a guy at
draft
22 though.
late.
They could get a guy at 22. I really
don't think there's another quarterback that's really worth it for first round though.
All right, let's finish up the AFC North here with the Ravens. They retained Ronnie Staley, 3 years, $60 million. I think there's some durability concerns there. It's a lot of money to tie up in a guy who's basically been hurt like in some capacity the last 4 years. So it's not a bad move. I don't know. Did you see they cut Marcus Williams, dude? After they signed him 5 years, $70 million 2 years ago, and they cut him. Crazy.
Yeah, dude wasn't that good,
no,
bro.
He wasn't.
Dude led up the Minneapolis Miracle.
Yeah, crazy.
How could you have a guy like that on your team?
They signed Chidobe Awuzie to a 1-year deal. He's kind of injury prone. He was with the Titans last year.
Yeah. You got Cooper Rush.
Dude, that's not really a good fit in my opinion. Because think about like all of Lamar's backups. Like it's usually been Tyler Huntley, right? Is Tyler Huntley still there?
Yeah. He might be.
Tyler Huntley.
Tyler Huntley is currently on the Dolphins.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Dolphins.
And we knew that.
Yeah, we didn't know that.
Yeah, dude.
Snoop.
I don't know. Kind of weird, right? Like that.
Pro Bowler.
Yeah, it's Pro Bowler Tyler Huntley. I forgot about that. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of weird that they got a guy who's kind of like a pocket guy, like a statue, right?
It could work though. I mean, like the Eagles have a pocket guy with Tanner McKee, and he's goated.
Yeah, but we're the Eagles. Like
Cooper Rush is better than Dak, and they're only getting him for $66.2 million.
It's not.
Like
I'm not saying it's a.
Dak.
No, it's not. It's a fine contract. It's just I don't know, kind of weird to me. I'll give him like a C+. They also got Patrick Ricard back, really good. Oh, and they got DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know if I said that, but
yeah, and they got D-Hop.
Dude,
I mean,
the Ravens are literally the kings.
Ravens love getting aging wide
receivers. They're the king. They're so good at it. Consistently, every single year, they bring in a guy who's like, oh, I wonder if he's got any juice left in the tank. It's like, I guess we'll find out. He's in Baltimore this year.
Yeah, like they got Odell.
So yeah, I don't know.
Aguilar.
I'll give him a C. I don't know. It's just Again, could get better with the draft, right?
I think the Ronley Stanley thing was good enough to maybe bring him to a B- in my opinion.
Yeah,
But I think
C,
they're
C
still.
plus.
I think they're still relatively solid.
I mean, yeah, their roster is
year.
fine. Their roster is fine. Just
Yeah.
them.
So who's winning the division?
It's tough, man. It's tough. I think we were a year too late on the Bengals. Give me Cincy.
I think so too. I'm usually a year too late.
I think we were a year. I think we are a year too early. I should say. I think we were a year too early on the Bengals.
I'm going Bengals.
Yeah, give me Cincy. I feel good with that. I think the Browns will be, I think the Steelers will be pretty too, because I don't know if they.
I think it depends on. I think
the
if they get
it depends who's on the
they're
quarterback.
gonna be a
Yeah,
playoff team.
it depends who the
Depends
quarterbacks
on
are
the
there.
quarterback.
I don't know, dude.
They have a rookie.
Think about the
I could see
Steelers.
Maybe this is the first time.
The Steelers get Rodgers. There's a lot of heads in that organization. A lot of heads. A lot of ego in that locker room.
Yeah, but Mike Tomlin's the key of handling ego. Have you seen Antonio Brown?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, if anybody can do it, Mike Tomlin can. So.
And Juju and any freaking receiver on their team.
Yeah,
It's always a nut job, and they're always good when they're on the Steelers, and then they leave the Steelers and they're booty cheeks.
All right. Let's move on here. AFC South. We got 8 teams left, guys. 8 teams.
8 teams left.
We got the Jaguars. Their big moves. They brought Duval. Wait. Oh shit. Liam Cohen, right?
Liam Cohen.
Yeah, that's who they brought in.
Duval,
brother.
Dude, Jacksonville, sneaky good. I think they're gonna win the division. Hot take.
Anyway, I don't know. I thought they did okay. They brought in Patrick McCarry from the Ravens. He's okay. 3 years, $37 million. It's a lot of money. They did get De'Ami Brown, which I thought was a pretty good signing from the Commanders.
Yeah, I can't believe the Commanders let him go.
Yeah, I was surprised by that. That was one of the surprising moves from Washington to let him go. I thought they would absolutely bring him back. They got Fred Johnson from the Eagles, who's a solid depth piece. They got cornerback Jordan Lewis from the Cowboys, 3 years, $30 million, 20
Very
guaranteed.
solid nickel corner.
Yeah, they got Mitch Morse retired, longtime Bill, but he was their starting center. And they brought in Robert Hainsey.
Got Fred Johnson.
No, center.
Oh,
Fred Johnson's a guard.
yeah, but they got Fred Johnson's a tackle, and they got him in from the Eagles.
They brought in Robert Hainsey from the Bucks. Again, he's okay. Yeah, and they brought in Nick Mullins. So like, I don't know. Kind of mad.
Released Christian Kirk, traded Christian Kirk and released Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram.
Evan Ingram. Yeah, Evan Ingram got signed. I think he was the
he went to the Broncos.
Yeah, I think so.
Correct.
Yeah. So like, but again, I don't really have the list of who they lost, but I know who they got. That's probably the more important thing. I don't know. I give him
lost Mac Jones.
Give him a B-. I don't know. They brought in a bunch of okay
I think
guys.
Liam Cohen. I think with what he did with Baker, with the Bucks offense last year, I think.
Yeah, you're high on the Jaguars, huh?
I think if Trevor Lawrence stays healthy, I'm a big Trevor Lawrence believer. I will never deny. I love my boy with the luscious locks.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think the Jags are going to win the division.
All right, we'll see.
I think every year there's always a team worse to first, and I think the Jags are the best candidate for that this year.
We'll see about that. This guy said your takes are worse. Your hot takes are worse than the Titans. Speaking of the Titans, let's talk about what they did. So, dude, they let go Ryan Stonehouse. That's my boy. I don't like that. They brought in Johnny Hecker. It's fine. Former All-Pro. Good guy. Not Ryan Stonehouse. They traded Kenneth Murray to the Cowboys. They they swapped picks. Again, he was okay. So they would have had to pay him. I don't know how much, but let's see what else they do. Oh, they got again. Do you know who Dan Moore is?
Yeah, he's a left tackle.
Yeah, dude. 4 years, $82 million. Crazy. Dude, like these guys are just coming out of the woodwork. Like, dude, just
like if you were just competent, right?
If you're a competent O lineman, you got
millions of dollars.
You got bread, bro. Yeah, they brought in Van Jefferson. I think he was most recently with the Steelers as well. They got the Kevin Zeitler from the Lions. They brought in Xavier Woods from the Panthers, safety, 2 years, $10 million deal. I actually like that deal. That's probably their best deal. Good value pick there. And they brought in Joey Sly. So I don't know. Their grade probably depends on what they did with the first pick. Right now, I give them
Yeah,
like
Cam Ward.
yeah. I mean, dude, they need a quarterback, right? They need a quarterback. So right now, I give them a C plus. They kind of made some meh moves. I don't know, dude. Like
Surprising because they had a decent amount of cap too.
it is surprising, right? Like maybe they're just waiting, but I don't know. Like here's the thing.
At this point, what are you waiting for? Free agent,
they're
the main free agency wave's over.
they really, really, really need a quarterback, right? But again, I think they're kind of like, hey, there's not the guy out there, right? So do they trade back like I thought they might? Or do they?
I think
And here's the thing: you could trade back to like 4 or 5, right? Like
Dude,
if another team,
atrocious last
they
year.
were really bad though, weren't they?
With quarterback play,
I don't know,
I
man.
think you can't run it again with Will Levis and Mason. What was the other guy? Mason Rudolph. They had. You can't do that.
Man, it's
You have to take Cam Ward. I don't see everyone's saying like, oh, they're talking about trading back. I do not see a world where they do not take Cam Ward with the first overall pick.
Dude, I don't know. I think they have to, right? I think they have to take a quarterback.
Yeah, they have to.
So
I think the fact that like, because there was talk during the combine that they were going to trade, and then they didn't, which mean they didn't / like the talk kind of died down, which makes me feel like during the combine interviews they liked Cam Ward. And I think they're kind of locked in.
He was tossing bombs out there. Did you see him during the combine? He was tossing.
Yeah, I did see.
He was throwing some nukes. I liked it.
I think they're gonna take him, and I think he's gonna perform okay.
Yeah.
I think the Titans in general, as the guy said, they are bad, but not as bad as my hot takes. I will say. And as I said that, not as bad as my hot takes.
If it makes you feel any better, Kyle,
I think maybe they'll be a little spicy.
If it makes you feel any better, I love your hot takes. So.
Yeah, I think it provides entertainment. I legitimately think the Jags are a fringe playoff team / they're going to win the AFC South.
All right. Well, we got 2 more teams to talk about in the AFC South. One of which is the Indianapolis Colts, who, as you know, brought in Daniel Jones, 1 year, $14 million contract to the Colts. Dude, is it like, hey, like, is this like the ultimate wake up for Anthony Richardson? It's like, dude, they're really bringing in.
Yeah, this is like the, hey, Anthony Richardson, we tried like coddling you these past 2 years.
Now we're going to bring in Daniel Jones.
Now we're going to be like, yo, like if you can't outperform Daniel Jones, you're a bum.
Yeah. Like,
I like that. I think that's the wake up call you needed.
Yeah, I like it. It's a good move. They brought in Khalil Herbert as well. They signed Spencer Schrader, former Jets and I think Cardinals kicker. They signed Corey Ballantyne, former Packers cornerback. And they got some more help because they lost Rock Ya-Sin. They brought in Charvarius Ward from the 49ers for 3 years, $60 million. Yeah, solid. Definitely. That was one of the more solid acquisitions. So, I don't know. I mean, they didn't make too many moves.
I think they got to go O-line in this draft, though, because they lost
yeah.
Their starting guard and starting center.
I'll give them like a B-, B, something like that. I mean, it should get better with the draft if they draft well. They have 7 picks, so, you know.
And the interior offensive line class this year is very solid.
Yes. I think there's a lot of good old linemen. I think there's a lot of running backs. There's a lot of...
If you need tackles, this is not the year.
Nah, yeah. I don't know. I give them like a B-, something like that for now.
I think it's a B. I like the Daniel Jones move.
It could be better.
I think this is the year, though. I think if they don't do well this year, last year, obviously, this was my hot team to win the AFC South.
Yeah.
If Anthony Richardson wasn't a bum, I think they still could have. They were pretty competitive.
Yeah.
They finished 8-9.
They
finished 8-9.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, 8-9 this season. I think if they had competent quarterback play, they probably would have won the AFC South because those games against the Texans, they almost won.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Well, speaking of the Texans, let's talk about what they did.
Yeah, well, speaking of Texans, go to that.
I think they had a phenomenal offseason so far. They got CJ Gardner.
Even with the Laramie Tunsil bye-bye?
Oh, yeah, even with that, dude. CJ Gardner-Johnson brought him in for a pick swap. They did have to give up some O-line depth, right? They gave up Kenyon Green. They again traded Laramie Tunsil. But they got, they got that off the books. They didn't have to trade it. So they got, what was it? Washington gave them a 3rd and a 7th, a 2026 2nd and 4th, and then Houston gave them Tunsil and a 2025 4th. And he's still in a contract for 2 years. I think it's a win-win for both teams, honestly. I really do. I think a lot.
Well, yeah, they're obviously trying to get Tunsil off the books so then they could sign CJ because he's due for a massive extension.
They're gonna
by the time in 2 years.
That's what's gonna happen. They ended up getting Derek Barnett. They re-signed Derek Barnett. They brought in
re-signed
Braxton.
him. He was been very solid for them, to be honest.
Yeah, dude, they brought in. Listen to all these
5
moves.
sacks last
They
year.
brought in Braxton Berrios. They got Justin Watson.
They got Christian Kirk.
They got Christian Kirk, yeah. And then they went ahead and made Derek Stingley the highest paid defensive back in the history of the NFL. Wasn't J.C. Horn. You were right. It is Derek Stingley.
It is Derek Stingley.
Dude, listen to this. 3-year extension worth $90 million. 89 guaranteed. That's nuts. That's crazy.
Dude, that Texans defense this year.
Bro, wait, it gets better. Oh, wait.
It was so good
Oh,
last
wait.
year. It's going to be nasty.
It gets better. They got Daniil Hunter in their 1-year, $35.6 million contract extension. Makes him the second highest paid defensive end in football. Love it. Brought him back again.
Dude, they're going to be so good on defense.
Bro, they brought in Sheldon.
Offense.
Hold on, I'm not done yet. Sheldon Rankins. They got some veteran presence with Ronald Darby. And then, right, I said they lost Kenyon Green. I said they lost Larmy Tunzel. They brought in Lincoln Tomlinson. They brought in Trent Brown, who was a free agent. I don't know if I like that one. And they brought in Cam Robinson. I really don't like that one, to be honest. He was really, really bad last year. No, he was bad.
Who did they end up? Who did they end up hiring as their offensive coordinator? Because they fired their old guy. It was kind of crazy.
Wait,
he was like head coaching considering.
Wait, who was it? It was Bobby Slowick, right? It was. It was the guy from the. It was the guy from Nick Caley from the Rams. I was gonna say it was the guy from the Rams.
That's solid. I like that.
Yeah, bro, they made.
You gotta love when they hire someone who's been touched by Sean McVay.
The McVay tree, dude. So they made so many good moves. Honestly, I thought they did really good. They get an A, and I think they win the division.
Doesn't surprise me.
I think they're the best.
How could they stop Duval?
Duval. Dude, I can't wait to see it. I would love if the Jaguars were like good, like a meme pick, right? Like that would be so funny.
A meme pick.
That's a meme pick for you.
Every year, there's always a team worst to first, and I think of all the worst to first teams, the Jags have the best shot.
Well, yeah, because that division's never. Yeah, because that division never produces a team that has like 11 or 12 wins.
I mean, if you're gonna go worst to first,
at least recently,
you got. Oh wait, never mind. They're not even worst to first. Titans are worse.
Oh yeah, the Titans.
Oh, I take it back. Forgot the Titans are terrible.
They are not going.
Titans are so
they
bad.
are not going worst to first.
About them.
They are not going worst to first. Absolutely
yeah, it says Titans, Cleveland.
Nah,
Giants,
dude. If anyone's
New
going
England.
worst to first, it's definitely
New England.
The Patriots. Yeah, it's definitely the Patriots.
Yeah.
All right, you said. All right.
I'm not walking back. Go Jackson.
All right, fine.
Duval.
It'll stand. Duval. All right, last division here, AFC West. Everybody's favorite, the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's talk about them. They re-signed Hollywood Brown, a 1-year deal. They brought in Elijah Mitchell. That's going to be interesting to see. Did you see what they did with Mahomes' contract?
Yeah, they restructured it.
Dude, they freed up $50 million somehow. I don't know how they did that.
Yeah, because it's like a 10-year deal. They could just do whatever the fuck they want with it.
That's like.
But did you see like his cap hits later because of that?
Oh, they're gonna be terrible. Like they are gonna be terrible.
It's like
eventually.
almost $100 million. It's so bad.
Bruh, that's some Dodgers level of criminal activity.
I'm pulling it up.
That's some Dodgers level of like criminalness.
It's bad.
That is bad.
Yeah, so like this, they cut it down. Mahomes' cap hit next year in 2026, $78 million.
That's still not as bad as what the Cowboys were with Dak this year. Dak was 89 until they restructured.
Oh
yeah, dude, it was bad. that's why I get. And that's another reason I gave the Cowboys such a low grade is because, like, you can't just keep moving your problems down the road. It doesn't work like that. It's eventually gonna kick you in the nuts.
That's like over 25% of their cap in 2026 is Mahomes.
Crazy. As we said earlier, they shipped off Joe Tooney to the Bears. They got a 2026 4th-round pick. There's $10.9 million in dead cap for the Chiefs, but they did free up $16 million in cap space, which was a good move for them. They brought in former Chargers cornerback Christian Fulton, 2 years, $20 million. They brought in Robert Tonyan. Jalen Moore they brought in, former Niners tackle. Dude, you see the new? They have 2 new backups. They got Bailey Zappi and Gardner Minshew, who are backing up Mahomes now. They did.
I didn't realize Gardner Minshew went.
Yeah, Gardner Minshew went there as well. They also brought in. They re-signed, I should say, Kareem Hunt.
Hunt.
Yep.
Let's hunt.
Let's hunt. They brought in Vikings defensive end Jerry Tillery. They brought back Charles Omenihu, Marlon Tuipulotu, and Juju Smith-Schuster. So they did keep a lot of their own guys, which is what we expected to. I mean, when you have a great defense like that, that's what you do. And they did
lose Justin Reed.
They lost Reed, which is big, obviously.
And then
they lost Derek.
They franchise tag.
They lost Derek Nandi too. Didn't they get Mekhi Becton? No, I think the Chargers got Mekhi Becton.
Chargers got Mekhi Becton.
Yeah.
They franchise tagged Trey Smith.
Trey Smith, yes, that's who they. Are we gonna log off soon? Yeah, probably after
Joe
this.
Tooney,
these next 3 teams. They shipped off Joe Tooney. I think they did a pretty good job, dude. Like B+, A- for me so far.
Considering the situation they were in, but
yeah,
not think. Oh, it's so bad. It's just like they don't see even I knew
I
it.
picked
I
the
said
Chiefs
it during
until
the
they
podcast
don't
before
do
the
it.
Super Bowl that the Eagles could potentially blow them out, and they did. These Chiefs team is black magic team. I think they sold their soul to the devil.
Black magic wore off.
Am I bold enough to say they're not going to win the AFC South?
Oh my God!
It's going to burn me in the ass.
Please do, because I'm picking the Chiefs.
I
know we haven't even
so
talked
bad,
about the other
just
3
you
teams in
can't
the
go against
NFC South, but I'm picking the Chiefs. There's no way I'm not picking the Chiefs. I have to.
Yeah, they're more confident in the Jags doing something than the Chiefs.
All right, let's
the AFC West.
let's go to the Chargers.
But I want to so bad. I hate them.
Is what it is. Hey, love hurts.
Objectively speaking, if they didn't have the names of Reed and Mahomes and Kelsey,
but they did well. They did well.
If you just looked at just their numbers, which is what I did before the Super Bowl, they were not as good as people said they were.
They had a good offseason. Anyway, Chargers. They started the offseason by releasing Joey Bosa. Obviously, he went to Buffalo. They brought in Mekhi Becton from the Eagles. Great.
Love it.
Yep. I mean, it'll depend on whether he stays healthy. I mean, last year he was healthy and he played extremely well because he was a guard the entire time, not a tackle. Who would have thought?
Yeah, he's gonna stay a guard with the Chargers.
Yeah. They brought back Khalil Mack on a 1-year, $18 million fully guaranteed contract. They bring in Najee Harris as their J.K. Dobbins replacement, who's still currently a free agent. They got Dante Jackson, who I don't believe was on a team last year. 2 years, $13 million. They extended Jalen Reagor, who I guess is just like the GOAT special teamer now. I get that because that's the only reason they would have extended him. They re-signed Denzel Perryman. Again, great deal. He's a very good tackler. They got Mike Williams back on a 1-year deal, $6 million. Fair, prove it deal. Stay healthy. If you're good, we'll keep you around. They brought in Tyler Conklin. Actually, it's funny because they brought in Tyler Conklin, and then the Jets, I believe, signed that guy Stone Smart. They got 2. Yeah. They I think the Jets got him, so they did a little tight end swap. And they got a new backup now. They have Taylor Heineke, a 1-year, $6.2 million contract.
Nice. So
yeah, I give the Chargers BB plus, fine. They made some good moves. They shored up the line, so now they have Rashawn Slater, who I believe wasn't he hurt last year?
Rashawn Slater, he missed a couple games.
He missed a lot of games last year.
They got him and Joe Alt. I think the Chargers.
Dude, their O-line is dirty.
Very solid.
Their O-line is dirty. They just have to have Herbert not throw 1 million interceptions in a playoff game. I think they'll be fine.
In the playoff game, because he threw more interceptions in the playoff game than he did the entire regular season.
Yeah, literally.
Low key, kind of nuts. I think they need to get a guy in the draft, like a big guy, to be the receiver.
Yeah, I think they definitely go wide receiver to pair with Lyle McConkey. Possession guy. They
need a big guy. They need a possession guy.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Williams went back there.
I know, but they need a possession guy who's not Mike Williams and who's not older and not hurt all the time. Yeah, they need someone who's going to play 17 games.
Yeah, Mike Williams is already 30.
Yeah, bro, that's what I'm saying.
Time flies.
All right, 2 more teams here. We got the Raiders of Las Vegas. They brought in Packers quarterback.
Love what the Raiders did.
Dude, I do too. I'm glad we're on the same page about that because I was going to say,
I want them to get Genty. I want Genty to go to the Raiders.
Imagine? Dude, so Pete
Dude,
Carroll.
That'd be so exciting.
Pete Carroll and crew in LA, in LV.
Crew with Genty.
I like it. So now, they traded for Geno Smith, who obviously is not the guy, right? Geno Smith's not the guy of the future.
Stopgap.
He's the interim guy. Yeah, stopgap. Absolutely. But He's good
It's a
enough.
Brady move through and through.
He is good enough where
Brady
you can
wanted him.
compete for the playoffs if you are able to make it that close. It's fine. They brought in Jeremy Chin, 2 years, $60 million. I know he was kind of like, not as good as what the Commanders wanted him to be, but I think 2 years, 16 is
I
a
think
fine.
he's solid. Jeremy,
It's
I
a
remember.
solid deal.
I
It's
wanted
a
him
good
to be
deal.
the Eagle out of the draft. Solid dude.
They lost Spillane and they lost Divine Diablo, but they did bring back Malcolm Kuntz for a 1 year, $12 million deal. I think they should look to extend him if he goes, because I think that's going to be a great signing for them, especially to pair with Max Crosby on the.
Dude, they
the
got
line.
Rahimi. I didn't even know.
Yeah, they got Raheem Mostert.
Dude, they got Rahimi.
Yep. They brought in for their Spillane. Their Spillane replacement, they brought in Elandon Roberts from the Steelers. Very good run stopper, and he's cheaper than what Spillane would have cost you, so I think it's a good replacement for the money. They extended Adam Butler 3 years, $16.5 million contract. They brought in Alex Kappa from the Bucks, which, I mean, you're kind of going to get what you pay for there. He's not that good, but the Raiders were bad at pass blocking last year, so like any other improvement there is going to help you. Obviously they released a Gardner Minshew who went to the Chiefs. Yeah, dude, they got your boy
Rahimi.
Yeah. He said Kyle obviously blazes the old guys.
Dude, I love Rahimi.
You like glazing the old guys apparently.
I do. I love Rahimi though.
Oh my god. Yeah, so
if I'm blazing the old guys, they help me win fantasy championships.
Yeah, man. I mean, dude, Reem was a goated a couple of years ago.
Rahimi, I love Rahimi.
Yeah, you know what? I'll give the Raiders a solid A-. I think they did, they did lose a lot, but for what they got back, I think they did very, very good. So, and I like, I don't think you're expecting the Raiders to necessarily compete for the division in year one with Pete Carroll. I think they could win 7 or 8 games.
Them to be feisty.
I think they could win.
Yeah, you want to be feisty.
Yeah, as long as you're improving from last year, I think the Raiders will be fine. So, and as long as you
get Genty though,
you get some young guys, dude, it could be a different story. So we'll see. All right, finally, the Denver Broncos, their big ticket item. They reached a 3-year, $45 million contract with $20 million guaranteed. Former 49er safety Teolona Hufanga. Kind of risky coming off the ACL injury. I mean, he's good. He's a good player. He's aggressive. He's a very good tackler. He can run the field well. It's just coming off those ACLs. A lot of these guys, you never know. So it's a risky deal, but for what they're paying him, I don't think it's too much. Obviously they have Surtain in the secondary too. So you pair the guy behind him like Hufanga, who you've seen him play really, really well on the Niners. I think it's a fine deal. They re-signed DJ Jones to a 3-year, $39 million contract. He's getting older, so I would have liked to see them, I think he'd probably have to put up similar numbers to what he did last year for that contract to be worth it. So, we'll see. They brought in Trent Sherfield, 2 years, $8 million, receiver. Evan Ingram, 2-year deal with the Broncos, $23 million, $16.5 guaranteed. And they signed solid, yeah. Very good. I mean, they've been needing a tight end too. They definitely needed it. And they signed former 49ers linebacker Dre Greenlaw, 3 years, $35 million deal. So
solid. I mean, he's been the same since his
solid,
injury, but like that was nuts that he tore his Achilles just running out on the field in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, dude, that's nuts.
Changed the game, to be honest.
It's kind of funny, right? They got Greenlaw and Hufanga now on the same team. They're staying out west, but different conference, different division.
Yeah, 2 big if healthy guys.
I give him a B. And you're talking about Genty, dude. Here's another team that could draft Genty. Although I will say
Genty's not gonna fall that far.
No, he won't. You're probably right. He won't.
Genty's gonna go in the top 10.
I think really.
I don't see Genty going past Chicago.
Really interesting. I see. I have not done any of my draft research. I don't know who I'm talking about or what I'm talking about when it comes to the draft yet. So I would have to go back.
I've done a slight amount of draft research. I mainly know.
So
about
I'll trust your
guys, and then some guys I'm interested for the Eagles.
Yeah, I'll trust your judgment better than mine at this point. Then, do most mocks have him top 10?
Genty's gonna go top 10.
Yeah, I will say I don't know if you know him, but Audric Estime, who was the guy they drafted last year, the running back from Notre Dame, easily could be their guy this year. be on the lookout for Audric
Sure, no
Estime.
Javante Williams this year.
No Javante, dude. Here's the thing, though. I think they don't need Javante. I think they'll be fine. They had a couple of guys. They had Jaleel McLaughlin too,
Yeah, Jalen
who
McLaughlin.
was fine.
They were every week. It was always a random. It was always a random running back that would just go off.
Yeah, right.
It was never the same guy. It was never the same guy week to week.
Yeah. I think this, and the guy in the chat made another. They could sign Asante Samuel. They could sign Rasul Douglas too. I mean, I think they're not. I don't even think they're necessarily done yet. What do the Broncos need? They definitely need a running back. I think they could do with a little bit more O-line help and a little bit more defensive line help.
Every team.
I think their second
O-line and defensive line.
I think their secondary is fine though. Honestly, I don't think you have to prioritize.
Dude, they got Pat Surtain.
Surtain, and they just brought in. God, I just said I'm gonna forget. They brought in Hufanga. And they got Greenlaw now too, so I think they'll be fine, you know. And Greenlaw,
I think, and their defense was solid last year.
Oh yeah,
too.
it was
I think
fine.
that no, the Broncos are definitely in a really good spot with Bo Nix. If he takes another leap forward.
Yeah. So I think
they're definitely the AFC West is a very exciting division.
I was gonna say as a division,
it's the best division in football.
As a division, I think all four teams did very good. All four teams did very well.
Them and the NFC North are the two best divisions in my opinion.
Yeah. I think all four teams in this division did very well. I'm still gonna take the Chiefs because you can't pick against them at this point. But
I really do not want to take the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But I feel like I have to.
You kind of have to
because I really like the Broncos and I really like the Chargers.
Yeah.
I think I have.
So
to take the Chiefs.
we'll see what happens, but. Whew, that was long, man. That was what I said.
Crazy.
We were gonna try and keep it under 2 hours, but I think we're at 2.
We didn't do it.
We're at like 2:13 right now, so little over. But hey, we had a
my
lot
butt.
to talk about, and this beats the hell out of having to keep everything condensed in my Instagram. I mean, it probably makes it easier when you're going back in August and you're like, all right, who went where? Now you can just go on a long car ride and put our soothing voices on. And now you know everything.
True.
Now you know mostly everything.
Hear me glaze old guys give
man.
the grade of the Tennessee Titans team performance.
If you're going a 4-hour ride, maybe you put after this one you put on the draft show, which we're teasing now. We don't have anything official. I'll announce it obviously if it is official. We're gonna look to do something for the draft. I don't know what, probably another show or something, and just talk about overall teams' performances in the draft and what we liked and what we didn't like. Probably pretty similar to this. And then obviously in August we'll have our little preseason discussion and we'll see where we're at there. But I think for now that'll probably do it for us. Kyle, do you have any words of wisdom for everybody out there? Because we need some.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
They're gonna win the Super Bowl again, as I said. And go NFL, baby. Go March Madness too.
Dude, yeah, I'm loving it.
I hope we get some crazy Sweet 16
I hope we
stuff.
get some crazy shit too. Packers,
Loki
Browns and
has not
Packers
been that
fan
crazy.
101.
Only
Thank
one
you.
buzzy beater.
You stuck around basically the entire show. Love you,
Yeah,
man.
shout out to you.
Dude,
Browns Packers. So wait, you like both teams? That's kind of
his handle is Browns and Packers fan 101, and he's been here since like I think 10 minutes into the show. So.
Wow, good for you.
He said I'll be here next time. I know it's gonna be far. It'll be far in between the shows, just because it's the off season. But hey, every week during the regular season and the playoffs, we have a show every week. So be there, be on the lookout.
Matt, who's gonna win? Who's gonna win Life Madness though?
Bro, what did I have? I had
You had favorite team winning championship, obviously.
Oh yeah. That's what I have.
Dude, I think Blackjack Heater could win. It's going off right now.
Blackjack. Oh, people vote on it, right?
Blackjack
I had
Heater.
a vote.
Yeah, people are voting on Day Drinking lost in the first round.
Is it on Twitter
and Prime Pokemon Go?
Oh, dude, Prime Pokemon
Instagram.
Go is.
If you have not seen this yet,
that's
honestly,
a dog.
This is my last shout out. Honestly, hilarious. Gimme 5, I think it's called. But they do like instead of March Madness, they do like Life Madness, and they do like these well edited videos.
Bro, I can't believe they had Skip
going,
on.
like the random It's hysterical.
They had Skip on
so
for
fun.
one of them. That's crazy.
Yeah, they have Skip on as a guest analysis.
Skip.
But they just finished the round of 64 now, and they're in the round of 32. I'm a big fan of the 2 seed Blackjack Heater, and then I'm also a big fan of obviously number 1 seed favorite team winning a championship. Obviously, go Birds.
That's gotta be.
But there's definitely some solid teams out there.
Man,
Like
up
2016, you got like a Shower Beer lost in the first round, big rip there. But definitely some very solid teams. Perry the Platypus, Lightning McQueen.
Perry the Platypus.
Yeah, they're in the second round. Just it's very solid. It's very fun. Very worth it. Shout out to those guys. But it's very fun.
Yeah. All right, we'll talk to you guys when we do. Obviously, you know it's gonna be a long summer without football. This isn't the final goodbye this off season. I'm sure we'll be back in some capacity for the draft. So until then, yeah, go Birds. I like that. I like that message.
Go
But
Birds.
stay safe, stay healthy.
Go Blackjack Eater.
Keep your NFL news in the rotation, and we'll see you when we see you. So, peace out, guys.